It's time for Roll for Combat.
Hey, looks like we were just here. Doesn't it feel like we were just here, Derik? Doesn't it feel like you and I were just doing this?
I mean, this is the only thing I do.
Well, that's true. That's all you do. This is all Derik does, is sit in front of a computer and stream.
Kinda. Yeah.
And build bookshelves. That's his other hobby.
I just brought 10 moving boxes from my storage units back to the house with all of my 3rd edition moving box / PF1 / OGLD20 stuff to put back up on the shelves, because all that stuff was in storage unit.
Oh, man.
Because I have way too much D20 products between official WotC 3X, 3035, PF1, all the supplements and splat from third party. Too much.
Well, talk about, I have just as much crap as you do, if not more. You and I have probably tied, because
I got a lot, man.
I have a lot too. You've been to my storage and you've been to my office, but in every one of these cabinets, it's filled with books.
I got a lot.
And
You know who we can't compete with? Mark's impressive display behind him.
Yes, his virtual display. I mean, his actual library. He's coming to us live from.
You missed you missed the stream where I was talking about how I was going to maybe buy a bunch of LED controllers and then route addressable LED lights to each one of my shelf units, and then that way on my stream deck I could push a button to highlight a specific shelf one at a time and make it glow and pulse, so that way when I'm talking about one game I can cut to my bookshelf, push a button, and make that shelf glow.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. I'll give you that.
Look, I gotta fill the time somehow. I can't stream I can't stream 24 hours a day.
I feel like you're in Ocean's 11. It's like, I feel like they're having trouble filling the hours.
You're right. Somehow I feel that's a great line too. I'm gonna drop you like third party French. Anyways,
you know, the funny thing yesterday,
everybody.
when you were like, what's the name of that thing? And I was like, Lurking Fears. And I thought to myself, Derik and I share a brain at this point. We really do. It's kind of creepy.
Right. I just said, what's the name of that thing?
That's what you said. And I said, Lurking Fears. I knew exactly what you were talking about, though.
So, yeah, I didn't know. Only thing you said was, can you make it to the show today? And I said, I can make it. Do you need me? He said, yes, because Gen Con. And that's it. So I don't even know what the stream is. I haven't opened up the stream.
Don't worry. You do.
So I'm like you guys. I have no idea what today's topic is going to be.
No, today's topic is, can D&D come back and take over Gen Con like it used to? Because it is fascinating to see how D&D really was Gen Con, and then they were gone. And then this year, if you go to their page, it actually says on the D&D page, we're coming back with vengeance. They're making a statement. They're not kidding around.
Also, I'm in the stream. It looks like chat wants us to discuss the elephant in the room as well.
Yes. Mark, why don't you take that one? Because you know more about it than I do right now.
Okay. So yesterday, there was a post on Reddit from Archives of Nethys, which is a company that had a license with Paizo.
Not a company?
Well, okay, Archives of Nethys is not the company, it's the site. The company, what is the company? Is Rose Winds or something like that that's on the Patreon? I don't know. But they had a license with Paizo to put a site up that included the official Pathfinder reference document for first edition Pathfinder, and also got art and early releases to put out Pathfinder's second edition and Starfinder content on the site. It's a invaluable resource for anybody who is playing Pathfinder or Starfinder. So unfortunately, yesterday Archives of Nethys came on and said that they are losing that license, which means they won't be able to use the art and they won't be able to get early access. They still have all the text, though, that they had before, and that will, because obviously they want people to know that they're not going to have the books ready on time as much if they don't have the early access, right? So Paizo released a statement today saying that basically the reason that this happened was because they were looking at partnerships that were taking lawyer hours for things such as playing whack-a-mole with the art on Archives of Nethys was being picked up by other people who thought it was in the community use and didn't realize the Archives of Nethys had a special license. They thought it was a community site and were using it in other places on the internet, probably not even maliciously necessarily, but that they had to go take down to keep control over those pieces of art. And then they had lawyer hours with that partnership, and since Nethys wasn't directly producing them money, they wanted to do it as a community use instead of as a partnership. But they also were still in discussion with Nethys about it being a marketing partnership instead, since it provides marketing benefit for being out there instead of a commercial partnership, since it's not providing money. They had not completed this discussion before it looks like it all kind of got out, because Nethys needed to let people know the timing or what have you. So it seems to me like a communication boondoggle where like it probably would have been better if they knew what they were doing with the marketing license before any of this got out there.
So that was Mark's extremely balanced, fair, and a totally facts-driven take on the situation. Would you like to hear mine?
We'll hear yours, because I have a little bit of a inside baseball because I have the same contract, so I know how it works.
All right, here it goes. Number one, people are upset. Archives of Nethys is upset because they enjoyed a exclusive relationship with Paizo to get their information out free now or early. But Archives of Nethys, they do have a Patreon and they do make money, and they understand that a lot of the value that they provide to people is having exclusive access to this, but they didn't pay for that. So it was kind of shady that they could get this money for free. On the other hand, Paizo, now they could talk about lawyer hours and licensing, and I'm sure that that's a real factor, but we all know that Paizo has been sort of going through it. They had some layoffs, right? Times have been tough. Diamond hit them hard. The fact of the matter is, for every 5 Pathfinder 2 stands out there on subreddit vociferously defending Pathfinder 2 to the death, only 1 in 5, if I'm pulling this number out of my ass, only 1 in 5 of them actually purchase regularly Pathfinder 2 content. And the reason I know this is because I know so many people who don't buy Pathfinder 2 content because they just use Archives of Nethys. So my hot take is I think this is a good time and a good excuse and a reasonable reason for Pathfinder 2 to gently remove this early access from Archives of Nethys and basically say, if you want this game on day 1, buy it, you cheap fucks.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And so, let's go.
I don't think that's what motivated it entirely.
That's what they're saying behind the doors, Mark. That's what they're saying behind the doors.
There's one thing you missed, Mark.
What did I miss?
They said, Archives of Nethys said, they've never made profit on the site,
yes,
therefore they
were on
paid.
A commercial license, but they didn't make profits. And so Paizo sounds like they wanted to move them to a marketing license, which was not expected to make profit.
Yeah,
right?
but here's the thing. So in the video game world, there's the rule of threes. Is the amount of money you make in the first 3 days of a game release is the same amount of money you'll make in the first 3 weeks of game release. The same amount of money you make in the first 3 months, and then 3 years. So that first 3 days is crucial because that is where you make all your money, and then it goes down after that. Now I don't know if that's true anymore. I mean, this is old, but that was the rule, and it was actually surprisingly accurate. How accurate that was. So I actually agree with Derik. It's that like Archives of Nethys can still put stuff up. You're just not going to get it right away. And if you want it right away, you got to buy it. If you want to wait a year or a month, you can still get it, but you just have to
It's
wait.
not even going to be a year. I'm sure they'll have it up in the site within
They'll have it
weeks.
up in a couple weeks.
In fact, who knows what their marketing license would be, right?
Yeah.
They might, like, the marketing license that was not finished being negotiated when all this started might even be that they're going to get it up even sooner and they will still get early access, maybe, but they won't have the art because the art was one of the problems.
I've always had a real problem with this sort of relationship for a variety of reasons. It's actually hard to tell who's taking advantage of who. But like, because the first thing is, right, Pathfinder 2nd edition, and again, this is information that, kind of what I was sort of informed about. Pathfinder, I should say, was printed under the OGL. And one of the requirements of the OGL is that your game rule set is available via an SRD. Mm-hmm. So Paizo was going to have to maintain that. But then they didn't, because Archives of Nethys did it for them. And they weren't paid. Archives of Nethys weren't paid by Paizo to do that. Oh, sure, they got to use the art to market our game for free. But here's the problem. There has always been an outsized problem with Pathfinder 2nd edition, which is that the community that plays the game and the community that buys the game are very different things. People talk about Pathfinder 2nd edition, and I think a lot of people do play it. But I also see in the same breath where people are talking about Pathfinder 2nd edition and they're really hyped about the game and they're trying to convert people to play the game. They say, and it's free. You get everything.
You hear that
free.
all the time. You always hear that.
You see that all the time. It's not like D&D Beyond, or it's not like D&D where it's shitty, where they only put 1 or 2 of the subclasses in the SRD. No, they put everything. And it's on Archives of Nethys the same day that people get the release. You don't have to spend any money. And people go, wow, that sounds great. And everyone's like, yay, Pathfinder 2nd edition. Except Paizo, who's like, yeah, okay, that's cool.
I think the world it's just a different place now.
And so it's a problem because on one hand, the fact that it's free and available and wonderfully searchable and indexable and has all the art available on day one, the same day that people who pre-ordered or have their subscriptions get the PDFs in their email or in their Dropbox, pz01545stocks.pdf, they're all getting it the same day. It's great for the game, but it's terrible for Paizo. But at the same time, if they didn't have it for free, would those people become paying customers?
Well,
maybe not.
Well, here's the thing.
So it's like a catch-22, because the reason that so many people are playing, like I see a lot of people who go, well, that's it. I'm not going to play Pathfinder 2nd edition anymore. And it's like, well, you weren't ever paying Paizo money. So from Paizo's perspective, you were never playing Pathfinder.
Well, no, because we've talked about this before.
Yeah,
on
I know
the show,
the marketing
and
effect,
the network effect of having more players is exponentially beneficial.
It is, except you fail to take into account, 1, how cheap people are, 2, how cheap role-playing game people are, and 3, how bad the economy is. My guess is that like conversion, because in the perfect world, Mark, you would come to the game because it's free, the barrier of entry is really low, you'd get into it and say, wow, I love this game, I love this world, I love this company, I love this art, and then that would convert into sales. And you would say, I want to support this company. I want to get the lore and the extra information that isn't available on Archives Nethys. It's not just the rules. But I don't know that that's happening. And I don't know that that's happening at the rate that Paizo maybe needs it to or wants it to.
Also, I suppose, to be fair, exponential does not necessarily mean higher. By which I mean, like, if you're saying that, for instance, it's a 5-to-1 ratio of people who are not buying it, and then we said, okay, so that's exponentially better. So we have 5. We're actually like raising it by some number of multipliers by not just 5 times. It may be 25 times. It may be more than that. But being 25 times more effective as a game at recruiting more people might still not make it up for it on small margins for the number of sales.
Right.
You may be right,
more
but
informed about the economics of publishing and book than I am.
However, it does seem to me like the main focus was cutting costs.
Yeah.
The main focus was cutting the costs to them. Like, we don't even know for sure that they wouldn't put up a marketing license that does allow Archives of Nethys to get things out around the same times that they did. We don't know that because that license isn't out yet. We don't know if they're timing is part of the issue, or if it's mostly the Paizo was looking at the red in their notebook and decided we can't be paying the lawyer costs for any licensee that is not making them money. Like they already seem to be focusing more on their most lucrative licenses rather than some of the smaller ones already. Maybe it's that Nethys was one of the only ones they were keeping that was not in the black.
Well, I'm going to put my cynical hat here because that's an unfair cost.
You're going to put it on? Doesn't it? I thought it was glued to your head.
No, because that's an unfair cost benefit analysis. Because what would be the cost for Paizo to staff and maintain and update and keep ready for day one release Archives of Nethys? I'm willing to bet it's more expensive than whatever the 3.5 lawyer hours it costs them a month to maintain the license.
Oh, to be clear, Derik, I don't disagree. And I'm not even sure that I would think, if I was the one running this, that the decision that they made was worth it purely from the PR perspective of that, like, Archives of Nethys is very beloved. So even if this doesn't change things for Nethys that much in the end, it's not going to look good, right?
No, it's not.
Maybe it'd be worth paying the lawyers just to avoid that.
Yeah, and I'm
not saying they made the right call. I'm just saying that they might have been looking at their books and been like, well, we cut these 20 other partners that were minor partners that were not making any money, or move them to marketing from the sales or whatever types of license that they had before, commercial license.
Right.
And we need to do this. Maybe they thought we need to do this to Nethys. It's the only one that's still left on the books. I'm not saying was a good idea, but that could have been what happened.
Wait, let me talk. So first of all, I use PF2 Easy, so I don't even use Archives of Nethys. So I'm serious. I think I like that one more. So
he was like, I use another completely free community-made tool.
I do use it, and,
which has always been on the community use.
Yeah, and that's always been a community use, and I have no problems with that because it has what I need. And here's the thing, I mean, I'm a broken record here, but dude, everything's going digital, and they're waking up to it because, especially now, it was like they were slowly going digital, but the diamond thing was the kickstart that made them go, oh shit, we really have to go all in on digital, because we lost all of our inventory, we lost all of our connections, we lost all of our sales channels. We are getting hit by tariffs. We moved our warehouse from the West Coast to the center of the country. Like, I can go on and on. Like, they're getting hit over and over and over and over again, and it's all because of physical product. Meanwhile, we can make a digital product and don't get hit with tariffs and get about a 90%, profit margin instead of a 35% profit margin. And we have total control over the product. Let me think about this. We can update it at will. We can, it's just exactly. I'm like, let me think. What's the better route to take? And remember, not that I'm patting myself, but day one, the first thing when Mark worked with me in the first day, we're like, dude, let's talk about the digital, because we're all in, man. Because we
were in on Foundry before Paizo was,
and it is something. If you go back, go back to that very first review that we did of you guys, one of the things that we said is but this is before I even knew Mark and Steven, and I said one thing that these guys get is that they are making the digital assets a priority, not just an afterthought. It's a priority.
Right.
And I don't think people put enough respect on RFC's names for not just putting out the digital assets, but also keeping them updated. Like, constantly. It's a tremendous amount of work. It's a tremendous cost. But the fact of the matter is that it's how so many people engage with these games, even in person.
Yeah. Well, you need someone like Steven whose pride is in everything being perfect. And he wants it to be perfect, which is great, because I am also like that. I want it to be as perfect as possible. So therefore, it doesn't matter what it costs, it's going to get fixed. Now, Mark T had a super chat that said Paizo could build a D&D Beyond subscription model.
People would lose their mind,
connected to things.
They would start firebombing Paizo headquarters. They would tell them sellouts. They can never do that, because again,
it's very hard.
You know me. I mean, I'm a big fan.
They already have demi planes.
Yeah, they have Nexus.
Under Nexus, which is as close as it comes to that, and people don't use it.
Yeah, people don't use it. I hate to say this.
Some people do, but
they don't
not
use
that
it
many.
I really do hate to
because
say
Archives of Nethys.
I do really hate to say this. Pathfinder 2 players are cheap. They're cheap. Not saying you're cheap, like you individually out there in chat, but as a community, they're very cheap. And they are spoiled, and they are used to getting everything for free and served to them on a platter. And then when they're asked to pay for something, they have a heart attack. So I don't think that they realize or respect the fact that the game that they love so much costs a lot of money to make. It costs a lot of money to distribute. It costs a lot of money to keep everything running. And it's not operating at the scales of efficiency that some massive, huge, multi-billion-dollar conglomerate with, D&D Beyond Digital and Magic the Gathering backing it up can run at. So, but at the same time, it's also not a micro light publisher that it's like, well, it's just two people in Italy. They're hanging out drinking espresso, and they're like, oh, what the any winning game should we make next? It's not that either. So.
We have so many Eddies. What should we do now? We already did the superheroes.
Welcome to my house.
We'll
you can use the Eddy as a coaster. But anyways, so. I hate to say it, but Paizo is stuck in this horrible middle ground where they are a real company. They have to operate and think like a real company, with they have to deal with things like unions, and they have to deal with things like payroll and lawyers and all this other stuff, licenses and all.
I actually know their lawyers are very expensive. I know their firm.
But they're not D&D. No. They don't have InfaCash. Right.
And they're in Washington. They're in Seattle. They're one of the most expensive cities in America.
Expensive. In some cases, I hate to say it, but Paizo is kind of a dinosaur, in that its structure and its design is from a time and a place that doesn't really exist anymore. It feels like a 2000s era company because it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing I saw, oh man, I got to call this out because I've been reading some of the comments on Deathbringer, and one of them was a nice one, and by nice I mean not nice. And they're like, "Oh, Roll for Combat's take on things is always so bad," and then they literally linked to this one saying that everything from D&D is going to go digital. This is from 2023, and that they're going to stop making books and blah blah blah. It goes, and that's not coming true. This was just yesterday, and I was like, I almost responded. I was like, really? Their latest financial call.
Books, but what you said in that video wasn't that they were going to stop books. It's that they become more and more of a collector's item.
Yes,
and that they're going to focus on digital. That's what you said in the video.
Which I did. And by the way, their latest investor call, they literally said that because they said, 78% of our Dungeons and Dragons sales are digital now. And I'm like, what more do you want? And not only that, it was 73 before. Now it's 78. I'm like, it's only going up. I mean, yes, they're going to still be doing books, but they're not going all in on digital. They already went all in. They're going to make
books. They're going to make books the way that Taylor Swift makes vinyl albums.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? Oh, buy Taylor's special vinyl pressing edition. But is that how you're listening to Taylor Swift? No. You're listening on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever the fuck people listen to.
I mean, think about that. 78%. That is astounding.
That is essentially, that's not literally everything, but at that point you're at 80% market penetration. So it's
I mean, that's like if 4 out of 5 of your players
But again,
I
can't.
That has become the main way of getting it out there. At that point, by far at 80%.
There are 3 local game stores that I frequent. Kind of on like a bi-weekly cycle. I like to stop in local game shops, say hi, talk to people. There's also a bookstore which opened in my downtown area, my little town, and it's a kind of a fantasy, indie, weird bookstore, and they've got playrooms and they play D&D. And so I always, poke my head in and maybe if they're not playing actively, I'll talk to people. I don't go, "Hi, I'm Derik Malenda, not so famous YouTuber," but I'm curious. And I'm not even exaggerating this. Again, it is anecdotal, but it's 3 stores or 4 stores if you include the bookstore. I think on average, I see probably 3 out of 5 or maybe like 4 out of 5 of the tables that I see playing D&D in person, they're playing on tablets or laptops. They're playing on digital anyways.
Yeah.
The DM has the thing as a digital asset or as a PDF. You know, the one group I see plays on Foundry in person or Roll20 in person around the table.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're all just on laptops together. At this point, I honestly think the only thing that people get together and play in person for is so that they have a reason to roll their $150 Dispel dice.
No, seriously. So my son, when he's talking to his friends, my daughter does this too. He's literally on the phone while his laptop is open, and he is interacting with his friend through the laptop while not video calling on the phone. They're not even talking on the phone. They're talking on the phone while using the laptop and like talking in the world together. And I'm just like, wow, like, I mean, it's really no different than playing World of Warcraft if you think about it. Like, but they're at a whole other level because they do it with everything. This is just them talking to their friends and playing like Roadblocks or something. And I'm just like, you know, and that's just normal. You know, this isn't like, oh, just because you don't do something. What's that called? The what's that thing where you think you're the main actor in everything, and that everything
the main character syndrome,
the lead character syndrome, where you think everything is the way you do things is the way everyone does things. And you know, I'm always studying marketing, and I'm like, no, man, that's actually the key of marketing. You got to find out what people are doing on aggregate, because just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's wrong, man. You know, it's like you might think it's wrong, but that doesn't mean it's wrong, and you got to get over it.
It's not like a moral, you know, I might
know, but people get.
I might want to place moral failings on it.
A lot of people think it is a moral failing. They're like, well, you should go outside and touch grass. How dare you be using them computers while I sit here on my computer for 8 more hours watching Netflix? You know, I mean, anyhow,
anyways, point is, I will also say, so this is me putting on my double cynical hat.
Oh my God. The rare double cynical hat.
The double cynical hat.
It's like double far, Mark. Or double near.
Because this is me casting aspersions and, you know, slander? Yeah, because it's not print, so it's not libel. So there's also a possibility where I wonder if Paizo, looking for more income revenue, was trying to shake down Archives of Nethys a little bit and was like, hey, we give you this stuff for free, and we know you're making money off of it on your Patreon. I think you should pay us for that because we're giving you this for free. Why should we give this to you for free? And then Archives of Nethys, who theoretically should be, but it's weird because on one hand, they're doing Paizo a huge favor. But on the other hand, they are getting it for free, and they are doing it, and they are running a business off of the largesse of Paizo. But then Archives of Nethys, being kind of salty about it, decided to make this really inflammatory post, in my opinion, while maintaining a decorum of being like professional and basically being like, Paizo's fucking us, but you know, we don't want to say anything about it. But if you want to send them a harshly worded email and bitch to them about it, that'd be great. And so now they're trying to like weaponize the community into a mob to try to get them to like sort of like reverse, you know, shit on Paizo. It's just a shitstorm. I mean, if I was like a drama clickbait channel, I'd be like, oh, this is great. But
even I didn't want to touch it.
And instead I'm just like, it's just, you know,
no, it's
you know what it is?
I think we want to wait and see how things shake out on this too. Because
and they still have access.
Still potentially doing a marketing agreement.
Yeah.
Like at least Paizo's statement is that they were.
Paizo is asking Nethys to pay for the service that Paizo provides for them. And then Nethys is saying, wait, pay you? You should be paying us for the service we provide to you.
So you're saying that this is part of a negotiation and that Nethys releasing the statement early was not to tell people in advance that they wouldn't be getting it, but part of a negotiation tactic of playing hardball on some behind the scenes negotiation to be look at how angry people are.
Their response said that they said, don't send emails to us, send them to Paizo.
Anyhow,
by the way, the lava being confirmed, drama clickbait channels are already posting about it.
Of course they are. I already saw
fucking vultures, man. They smell, you know, they get that scent of carrion in the air and they just go,
To be fair, sometimes Steven smells that same
I'm
sense of
talking
carrion.
about Steven.
Okay.
Oh, I smelt it. I just didn't
didn't
want to
deal
deal
it.
with it because I felt bad. I felt bad for everyone. I smelled it. I saw that. I was like, then some of the video game channels, man, they were covering it, and I was like, oh boy, that ain't good. Like, I was like, yeah, these little YouTube channels, who cares about that? But the video game channels, those guys get major clicks. I was like, ooh, that ain't good. That's
right, yeah.
good.
Jedi Protector also represent they understand their community. They're like, maybe you should send a harshly worded email to Paizo, but don't send them a death threat.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. They're a fucking business, man, and they're getting rocked over and over and over again. It's like, well, you should do everything for free, and you should give us infinite content that's amazing and full color with new rules, and we should pay nothing and get it for free online. You're going out of business? Oh, who could have seen that?
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
So here's all I'll say, because Derik, obviously you speculated things that could be true. We don't know. There's a lot we don't know.
I have no insider information.
I have no insider information. I have no insider information either. At least not anymore.
Okay.
But
your opinion,
here's what I'm going to say though.
Your opinion means more than
Here's
mine.
what I'm going to say. Just from seeing like union member Paizo lower level staffers out there just kind of generally being like, please calm down and wait for a statement type things, makes me suspect that at the very least what Paizo is saying about that they were in the middle of negotiations is true. Because I feel like if that wasn't the case, that Paizo has employees and workers have proven that if like Paizo executives are going to do something that they think is not right, that they will speak out, unionize, and have a voice and be like, don't do this. So if the Paizo staff members were actually posting on social media being like, wait, hold on, don't inundate this person just yet, like there's more to this, that suggests that there was, if you see what I'm saying, like that they wouldn't automatically be lockstep with Jim Butler's statement just because it was at Paizo. It's not like there's a company line that everyone has to tell. So that is, of course, speculation. We can't know for sure what is going on.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
anyhow,
that's the. Believe it or not, this is a rare instance where chat was like, I hope they ignore the main topic and talk about this thing that we actually care about.
Well, yeah. I mean, it just happened. And
it happened. People wanted to know what we thought because Steven has been a licensed partner, so he knows what the licensing are like. I've worked at Paizo. I know people who are there. And Derik, you just often have cynical takes that some people get very upset about hearing and some people like to hear. And there we have it.
Derik just likes to stir the shit.
So I had a great moment the other day. It kind of encapsulates my business model in a nutshell.
Your business model: talk on the internet all day and make no money?
Correct. So we were talking about something, and I made a video or something, and I made a video about Heroic Deeds, the 5th edition Kickstarter, and somebody made a comment, a post on it, and it was, mean, hateful, attacking me, attacking my views, and in a not so polite way. And somebody from my Patreon posted it, copied it, posted it. We were talking about it, and then somebody went, "Wait a second, they have a colored ring behind them." They're like, "Derik, that person is a YouTube member. They're paying you. They're paying you $7 a month. This person who's just shitting and dunking on you publicly is paying you money monthly." And I went, "That is my business model in a nutshell."
You're Howard Stern, but on a much smaller scale.
which is, oh, you hate me? Oh, you're giving me money? Like what?
that is Howard Stern.
Everyone's I'm the anti-Paizo. I'm the anti-Paizo. I'm the anti-Paizo. Derik, oh, you hate me? Yes, and I'm giving you lots of money. Paizo, oh, you love me? Yes, and you will get no amount of money from me.
Exactly, right. It's like It's like,
Oh,
we love you.
from your community, it says,
play...
we check your views all the time. You have so many bad takes. That was a comment in chat.
Correct. Yeah. And people are like, oh
and
my God,
Cinnabos,
we love
by the way. I love
Paizo.
Cinnabos.
I mean, how many times, we talk about it, is that we see people who come to our booth and look at our beautiful books, full color, and I'm like, how much is it? $40. $40. And you get the PDF for free, and you get the Path Builder file for free. Everything you need to play Pathfinder. Like, ooh, I don't know. Seems a little steep. They walk next door and get, oh, how much is that dice set that I don't need that I can add to my 500 sets of dice that I already have? And I only play online anyhow, so I don't even need it. And after I buy it and look at it, I'll never look at it again. $200? Yes, please. I mean,
I think people who buy $200 dice sets probably use them.
I have $200 dice that are sitting in my cabinet.
I know a lot. There's somebody.
I know a lot of
people on the Nights Let's Call Patreon were posting the other day their Dispel dice collections, and they were all in their boxes.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of people who have.
Also, I will say this: at least when people leave the booth and they go and they buy Dispel dice. I understand, one, that those are made, they are beautiful artistic expression. I think they're terrible as dice because I think that most of them are unreadable. But I understand that they are that. But at least they are essentially, truly gaming paraphernalia. What broke me was the tea shop.
Oh, the tea shop. They do so much business too.
And we watched them go from like a 10 by 10 to like a 10 by 15 to like a 10 by 20 because they were just huge. Like, oh, we can't keep up with business. We're just selling people oolong tea, but we're calling it barberry tea. And people are like, $35 for 10 bags of loose leaf tea? Sign me up.
That booth is packed. It's always packed. It is ridiculous.
I mean, if you're that tea company, by the way, I'm not dunking on you. You found a way to part a fool from their money. And, that is congrats. Well played, sir. You have won capitalism. And
not only that, it's like $40 for a book. I went out to dinner the other day, a hamburger and French fries and a drink, $35. $35. I mean, it is like, and I don't even drink coffee, but I can only imagine how much that is.
I've been playing EverQuest Legends again recently, which is like a remake of the game.
Yeah.
And they kind of like added a bunch of quality of life issues to this 27-year-old game while keeping it still 27 years old. So it's kind of like this great nostalgia bait. Yeah. Anyways, they released that when the retail goes live, they released the not the pay to win, but the pay to have nice stuff list of market stuff. And like one of them is like you can get like a backpack that has a ton of slots and it reduces the weight of everything in your backpack to zero, and it was like $4 US currency. And a bunch of people were bitching. And somebody said, dude, I bought a Butterfinger the other day. It was $3.75. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, what are you talking about? Like if you're going to complain about that being $4, then you have to complain about everything. Because again, a Butterfinger.
Well, I go by
snack from the gas station. Was
you and I've talked
$3.75.
about that. There's like milk, eggs, gas, and then like if basically you use those, but then there's also the metric of coffee, like hamburgers, like simple things that people pizza, and those are the gauges of like I use that as the gauge for what to charge because if your book is starting to cost less than a hamburger, then you're not charging enough for a book.
Right. Well, listen, there's a reason why I make and cook everything at home from scratch because it is way cheaper.
Yeah.
I can't afford anything else.
Well, I know, but it's a lot of people I don't know how many people get coffee every day. And that's got to be what, $20? I don't know. I don't even get coffee. I don't drink coffee. So
how much could a banana possibly cost, Michael? $100. Anyways, so Gen Con.
40 minutes in.
So here's my thought process on this. So for those of you who aren't aware, D&D TSR used to own Gen Con.
Correct.
And then when Wizards of the Coast bought TSR, it became the CEO was Peter Adkison. And this was the guy who created Wizards of the Coast. He was an avid gamer. Wizards of the Coast, by the way, name of a group of wizards from their fantasy campaign, and applied because they were up in Seattle as well. So anyways, He bought the game. And then a couple years later, Hasbro bought them. And Peter Atkinson was, you can't have two CEOs. So he was from the door. As part of his departure, he said, as part of I want to buy from you Gen Con. So he bought Gen Con from them. And Gen Con was no longer owned by Wizards of the Coast /TSR. It was now owned by Gen Con LLC. And that happened, circa 2003, 2004. I personally have been going from Gen Con that entire time. And Gen Con moved to Indianapolis. And when that happened, Wizards of the Coast immediately stopped having as strong of a convention presence. I remember that by the time 4th edition launched, they had a big, the main hall had this big grid with life-sized miniatures, right? So there was actually a large troll, right? As in there was 5 by 5 squares that were actually 5 feet by 5 feet, which meant the troll mini was actually 10 feet by 10 feet because it took up 4 squares. It was really awesome. Then I have a picture of Smith accidentally breaking the troll's arm off. It's great. So after that, and 4th edition kind of had that community backlash, Wizards of the Coast basically noped the fuck out. And during the entire lead up to 5th edition, D&D Next, when they were doing all the playtesting, it wasn't at Gen Con. They still used their Winter Fantasy Con as this flagship con, which is this weird convention that's in the middle of not Indianapolis. It's in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's in the middle of winter.
No, actually, it was in Washington, D.C. when they did 4th edition.
So it's gone or moved around the company a little bit.
And there was I played with all the main developers. I played 4th edition at Icon on Long Island.
5th edition?
4th edition.
You mean 5th edition?
Maybe 5th edition. It was the beginning of 5th edition. I don't remember.
Because that's when they were doing the extensive community playtesting.
Yeah,
4th edition was all 4th edition was all internal.
Oh yeah, sorry. 5th edition. You're right.
Yeah.
Sorry. 5th edition. Yeah. They were too. At every convention I went to, and they're big conventions.
They were all the small conventions. They were all the small conventions. They weren't at Gen Con.
Right.
And then
they were big small conventions, if that makes sense.
And then D&D blew up, and still nothing. And then when D&D hit its 50th anniversary 2 years ago, D&D was at Gen Con in an extensive way. They were doing seminars, they were doing panels, but they weren't physically at Gen Con. They weren't running events. They didn't have a presence in the dealer hall. It was all kind of these satellite seminar stuff. And now this year, they're coming back with a vengeance, they say. And yet, they aren't at Gen Con, are they? They've taken over a nearby building.
Yes.
It's almost like they're trying to do a night con.
6 stories.
It's they're trying to have a convention within a convention.
They are. To be fair, they have been in that building every year.
No, they have. And that's where they usually do their big critical role, live play on stage.
Yeah,
everybody gets to gasp at how beautiful
building.
Matt Mercer is.
They just haven't taken it over and advertised it. But if you go to press events and stuff, or if you go see the critical role, that's where they're at.
Right. So and so on one hand, Gen Con is too large for, the ICC. So that's the Indianapolis Convention Center. On the other hand, it feels kind of weird. It does feel like they're trying to make their own thing at Gen Con.
Yeah. They're doing NightCon. They ripped you off.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's NightCon. Yeah.
It is. It's NightCon. Well, look at it. It's called the D&D. Look at the webpage. I'm going to post the webpage. The webpage goes all out. They did not skimp even on this webpage.
Are you going to bring it up on the...
No, I just posted it in chat so people can see it. But it's mostly just pictures, but it's D&D Tower, Gen Con 2026. And literally, it says, this year, Dungeons & Dragons is pulling out all the stops for Gen Con 2026. Welcome to the capital T D&D Tower at the Indiana Repository Theater. 6 D&D-fied floors packed with live shows, short adventures, music, and experiences from July 30th to August 2nd. Reserve your spot. And this is a really nice, this is a real nice website. And it's floor 1 and 2, main stage, merch, talent check-ins, D&D keynote, 20-sided tavern, Dungeon Masters concert, Dungeon Masters actual play live show, floor 3, Dungeon Dare, Web of the Red Wizards. They're like playing D&D all day there. Floor 4, D&D actual play, D&D talks, floor 5, Dungeon Masters University, blah, blah, blah. Floor 6, the D&D Carnival. We will be there, by the way. And because there's actually quite a few people we know that are going to be there. So, but yeah, they are really going all in. I mean, they got, let's see, Justin.
I got to say something though. This is again, this is me putting on my hipster hat. Like
Jenny D is going to be there.
So this is I can't help but be like, man, I would be embarrassed. I would be embarrassed to be on a panel with R.A. Salvatore, Luke Gygax,
Matthew Lillard,
Skidmire, Tracy and Laura Hickman.
I'm watching this now. Okay? Yeah.
And then I'm Ginny D. like you're like, what am I doing here?
I don't think she has imposter syndrome. I think she'll be fine. Matt Mercer.
No, I don't think she does either. I'm just saying, like,
I think she knows what she brings to the community and why she was put on there.
I would not.
No, I get it. I'd
be like what is going on here?
If I was in your position, Derik, and was called up onto that panel with exactly your bona fides, I would massively imposter syndrome out and be like, what the heck?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but they have a huge, I mean, they have a whole thing of directions, the layout, the guests. I mean, yeah, they're going all in. But, they used to be pretty snobby about D&D at Gen Con. They used to not even talk about it.
Yeah.
And then now, I mean, keep in mind, things have changed since Dan has taken over. Like, they've done a complete 180. Like, it's just completely different how they approach everything now, not just Gen Con. But you know what? They have to, it comes down to they have to be part of the community, and if they want the respect of the community, they have to be part of the community. And I think also I saw
but calling Gen Con the community is such a bad take. I mean, yeah, it's huge, but like what, 0.01% or something of people go to Gen Con?
But the people who go spend money and expect to have an experience and something that they can remember. So if you're going to go and spend thousands of dollars and spend all that time and effort, you better be impressed. Okay. You go to any of these conventions, and I'm not talking about the little crappy ones that we go to. I'm talking about like real conventions, like the ones where know what I'm talking about, like the multi-million-dollar ones, like the real ones when people like to have real, sponsors and they have amazing booths where they're spending millions. It's like so when I did pharma booths quite a bit, and the big thing we would do at these pharma booths, because you want to talk about tricky, because the rules on pharma advertising are insanely strict. You can do very little. It's like, okay, you need to talk about a drug, but you can't talk about the drug. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't give out free stuff. It's like, oh my God, how the hell are we going to sell this drug? You're not allowed to do anything. The rules have gotten very strict. So we would have to do things like, I literally flew in back in the day. You don't have to do it anymore. I flew in this guy from, I think he was from Switzerland, and he was a really good artist. He was like one of those like sketch artists, but he was just a step above. He wasn't like the ones you see on the street. Like he was really good. And we would have him there just doing sketches for people. So they would come into the booth, we would do the pitch, and this guy would sketch them. I would do kiosks with games. We would have contests. We would do everything we could without breaking the law, because it was incredibly expensive to be there. It was very difficult, and we had to give them an experience so they remembered our drug, so then they would buy it and subscribe it, right? So it's the same thing. It's like, look, if you're going to go to Gen Con, this might be your only convention of the year. It's your first time there. We got to knock your socks off, and we got to really make it impressive. And you're right. They represent 0.001% of the people, but the people that are going, they're the whales, man. They are whales. They're spending all the time and money and effort to go there. They may not be whales in the sense of money, but they're whales in the sense of community power. I mean, they are. I mean, who goes to Gen Con?
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, just going to gencon.com/event finder, there are 86 events being run by Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, they're going
86.
All in. Yeah,
that's a lot. I mean, and these aren't like, you know, you might say that's not a lot. Well, yeah, but they're not doing like, here are 7,000 Pathfinder Society, you know, like Adventure or Adventure League, you know, 86 discrete events from basically zero a couple years ago. I mean, this is significant, for sure.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be there,
by
baby.
the way, it goes without saying, a bunch of these are also already sold out.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, someone, what do they write? So, Stephen, behavioral neurologist. Yeah. Neurologist here.
As you stroke out on
I
camera.
know, I'm stroking out right on you. It did get a little crazy. The rules they put up on farmer promotion, honestly, I don't care about your promo. I care about your evidence. Exactly. And we used, I have stories, man. I have stories like before they put up the rules, like one doctor wanted like a big screen TV. And this is back when big screen TVs were like 10 grand. And he basically blackmailed my reps to buy him the TV. Otherwise he wasn't going to, you know, sell his drug. And there's some real big wigs. And that is like a whole other industry because they have these people that are thought leaders and the people who are like leaders in the field. And if they say something, everyone listens to them. And this is way before we had influencers. There was influencers in pharma in the 80s and 90s, and they knew who they were, and they have massive egos. Every doctor is a hugely massive ego. And yeah, you gotta impress them. And the video game conference is the same thing. It's like video game conference was the best because there was no rules about that. The things I would get at video game conferences, and you would meet Hollywood stars because it would be like at Sony, and then they would bring out like all the stars from Sony, and they'd have concerts. Those were the days, man. Now we get nothing.
You miss your boondoggles.
I miss my free shit. I miss getting flown out and getting wined and dined.
You know, I'm curious. Again, I'm not a D&D guy, and I should pay more attention to, I guess, to D&D. So you had sent me something, Stephen, and I see it now here in the Wizards of the Coast listing for this first ever live.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Death saves. Oh,
which is you know what that's Joe Manganiello.
Yep, that is going to be OSR D&D. We talked about it. People are like, what is it going to be? It's OSR D&D. It's literally
right. I mean, that was, remember that was me when we were talking about, is there going to be a 6th edition? And I said, well, they should make a D&D classic is what I said, right?
Well, this is what it's going to be. And if you go on their page, go to the Death Saves page, and he has an animation at the beginning. And every single one, if you look at them, like Dragon's Lair's in there. Like I was like 80s, like every single image, which comes up for a millisecond, is an 80s image. It is totally 80s nostalgia. And then even the pictures and the
sounds
t-shirts.
Like it's a setting.
It is a setting. It looks like it's a setting within D&D.
It says
that's
here's
going to
what
be
the
like
description
an 80s
of the event is. Okay,
setting.
It says actor, producer, writer, director, Joe Manganiello, who, by the way, you can like all you want, but that man fumbled the bag of Sofia Vergara. So he's a fucking idiot as far as I'm concerned. But moving on.
Well, we're going to meet him. You can tell him in person.
I will. I'll be like, how? Anyways, Joe Manganiello has spent decades playing in Dungeons & Dragons worlds created by legendary game designers, drawing from D&D's past to chart its future. But now the time has come for him to forge a world of his own. This next chapter in D&D gaming begins at Gen Con 2026. Death saves. The Great War has ended. The forces of darkness have won. It sounds like Shadows of the Demon Lord. Gods lie dead in droves. Sounds like Shadows of the Demon Lord. The world hangs on by a thread. Sounds like Shadows of the Demon Lord. Join us as a band of god killers led by Joe Manganiello take the battle to the doorstep of the Demon Lords. Question mark? It literally is called Demon Lords. In this first ever live play for the newest Dungeons & Dragons Black Label setting, Death Saves, you don't want to miss it.
It's what we said it was going to be. But our calls are bad. Don't forget that. People think that we never. Our calls
we're
are
wrong
bad
every time, and
we're
just haters.
We're always wrong. We don't know what the hell we're talking about. We're always right. It's
I don't know,
scary.
Steven. You started off being always right, even in some scary and eerie ways, but I'd say we're more right than not on some of these calls, but there have been things that were inaccurate over time.
Oh God, you're right, Mark. I can't be 100%, but
You're still pretty darn accurate with these predictions.
Close.
Also, sometimes what happens is, and I see this, the people who don't like it are like, well, it wasn't exactly what Steven said, when it's something that's like pretty similar, right? Like
exactly.
You were thinking maybe it would be a set of rules that were based on this, and instead it's a live play, which is different, but it's very much fits the theme of your prediction.
Exactly.
Well, I would say that it sounds like it's just like a vanity celebrity project, but the fact that they're calling it,
they have D&D all over it. It's not.
But the fact that they're calling it a black label setting, it sounds like they are trying to definitely go, when I see black label, it makes me think black and white. And when I see black and white, it makes me think of Shadow Dark. And when I think of Shadow Dark, it makes me think of OSR.
And black label is traditionally used for exclusivity. There's a lot of connotations.
Like Johnny Walker black label.
Right. There's a lot of things, black label, like the black credit card from Amex. Like black is often used for power and status. So we can.
So do you think that means that the Dungeons and Dragons black label may actually just be celebrity trickle down?
No, I think that, well, first of all, and this was pointed out by Ian.
By the way, I just want to add something. The way that copy is written, again, I'm very hateful, but like not just hateful, but I just hate being like, I hate being influenced, and I'm an influencer and I hate it. But like, and that's why I try not to be an influencer. That's why you hate
yourself.
Yeah, that's why I hate myself. But when it talks about like this, it's like, legendary game designers from D&D's past, and it's like, but now the time has come for you to get to experience what he's creating, and I can't help but feel like it's like trickle down. You're gonna get. Like, I remember one time I went to go see Barack Obama speak when he was running for re-election. And as he was leaving, he was shaking people's hands. And I actually got to stand behind him. I guess I was a representational person. But some woman came up to me after, she's like, he touched my hand. Do you want to feel it? And I was like, no, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, he's just a guy. But like, people are like, can you imagine getting to play in a setting that was...
Well, not only that
was vomited forth from Joe Manganiello. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Dude, in New York, they're having Fan Fest, and Fan Fest
I hate fandom.
Well, the Fan Fest is at the Javits Center. Like, they rented out the whole Javits Center. That's millions and millions of dollars. Every single sports celebrity in the history on planet Earth literally is going to be there. And you can go and get their autograph, get their picture. And it costs a fortune just to get into it. And then, like, if you want Jalen Brunson, $900 for a picture and autograph. I was like, my wife's like, are you going? I'm like, no. I'm like, I couldn't care less about autographs.
So you could care less?
No, I do. I could not care less. I do not care.
You could not.
I couldn't. I always say it right. Don't get me. I'm not one of those. I could not care less. Although I like to collect people, as Derik knows, but I like to collect them mentally. I don't need a physical representation of that person to know that they're in my collection. My Pokedex.
Oh, really?
Pokedex.
You haven't showed off your gold label Star Shadow Dark book to me multiple times?
No, because that was given to me as a gift. I didn't ask for that. I think asking someone for their autograph or their picture and paying $900, that does not count. But if Jalen Brunson came over to my house and gave me his jersey and signed it and said, here you go, you better believe I'd be putting that right here. See?
Correct.
That's the difference.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not my deal entirely, but I think as someone who owns a lot of games, books that are signed by the designers, I think going and purchasing someone's product, having a real conversation with them about a hobby that you share and love, and then them writing you a message and signing it can be a really cool moment. What I don't like is this like cash for signature business. Like that to me is a very fake interaction that is like entirely predicated upon literally a transactional of I'm paying for your photo and autograph. Whereas like, I think that, it's not like you charge extra for Mark to write in the book. You know, like that would be just weird and tacky.
We don't charge for our autographs. Maybe we should.
But like,
No.
I'm kidding.
You know.
I'm kidding. We actually do charge. You know how we charge them? Buy the book, and then we'll sign it.
There you go. But we'll give it to you for free in addition to your purchase.
Yes.
Like, obviously, if you don't have it, but also for people who already own the book, if they bring it there, we'll sign it, right?
Yes.
Now, I understand that some people really have a very, again, it's based off of parasocialism. And if you know anything about my community and channel, I try very hard, right, to squash all elements of parasocialism. Some elements of it are inevitable, but I really try to like illustrate to people that what's that?
Inevitable. I like the way you said it.
Inevitable.
Yes.
I can't completely squash it, but I do try really, really hard because again, this idea that like someone's like, oh, that celebrity, you know, means so much to me, and it's like they don't even know that you exist, you know, like and then they wouldn't give you the time of the day if you weren't paying $900 for their signature.
Like my favorite. That's like my favorites from Andor season 2. This guy who's been spending all of season 1 and all of season 2 trying to find Andor and kill him. And he finally gets to him and he screams at him and it's like, you've ruined my life. And Andor looks at him and he goes, who are you? And then he gets killed.
Right. Well, it's the classic, you know, the day M. Bison came to your village was the most important day of your life. For me, it was
Tuesday.
For me, it was a Tuesday. That was like my favorite line. That was the top 5 best lines of all time. It's just like, and she gets so mad because it's so true. It's like, because you build these things up in your head and you're like, oh my God, it's so important. It's like, they don't even know who you are. They do not care. They do not care.
But like, you know, I mean, I make it a point, you know, I mean, I meet people.
Well, you collect people like me. You
no. But
okay, let me rephrase that. We take time out to talk and meet people and connect with them.
Correct. And it's not a transactional business.
No,
you know, like
not at all.
If someone comes up to me at Gen Con and they're not a patron, I'm still going to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I mean, I'm a human being and they're a human being and we can communicate and have time. And if I have time to talk to someone, I'm going to, regardless of whether or not they've paid me or not. And more importantly, just because you have paid me does not give you any sort of, you know, rights or demands on my time. You know what I mean? Like you don't get to. Yeah. So anyways, I'm very egalitarian in that regard.
By the way, I do have to call out here, Buster TN. He paid a lot for one autograph. Mario Lemieux, Game War jersey, cost me $1,000 in the 90s. That is respect, because Mario Lemieux, he was so good. And here's the problem.
What do you care about Mario Lemieux? And I was you went to school in Pittsburgh. Right?
I went to school in Pittsburgh, and I was there when they won all the Stanley Cups. Let me tell you, the problem with Mario Lemieux is he smoked like 2 packs of cigarettes a day, and he was amazing. And he never went to practice. He never like if he actually tried. Can you imagine how good he would have been? And he was already amazing.
That's what Kobe used to say about a lot of NBA players, but a lot of Kobe said about Shaq.
Yeah,
right. Is that like Shaq didn't work out? He didn't, he didn't go to practice. He was just a natural physical phenomenon and incredibly naturally gifted, but had zero work ethic.
Yeah, but not only that, it's like, can you imagine how good they would be if they did?
Right.
And Lemieux was like that. Lemieux would just, I mean, he was so good, and I just can't believe he used to smoke. I mean, it was in the 90s. A lot of people smoked back then. But like, if you watch anything from you watch the Mets from the 80s, they're all smoking. It's like every player is smoking. And he was just like, man, what's going on? Like now, nobody smokes. But now respect, man, Aaron Lemieux. Like if you're going to go all in. The worst one I ever saw by far, this was the one that bothered me the most, is what's his name? Hamilton, Luke, what's his name?
Lin-Manuel?
No, not Lin-Manuel. Luke Skywalker.
You said Hamill.
Mark Hamill?
Mark Hamill. I don't know why I said Hamilton. Mark Hamill. I'm losing my brain. Mark Hamill was charging, this was way back in like 2004, 2003, New York Comic Con. He was charging, and this was the record back then, $400 for an autograph. And you had to buy his book, which was like another $35, $40. And you had to buy a headshot of him, which was like another $20. So it was something like, if you wanted his autograph, you had to pay $450, and you had to buy his book and the headshot. And back then, this is back when people were doing autographs for like 10, 20, maybe $50 was considered a lot. And people were like, $400? Are you insane? And I went to New York Comic Con. The line was out the door. Like, it was literally like out the door down the street all 4 days. Now, the way it works, because I have friends who run conventions, they make very little. They make money on only two things. Okay, if I run a convention, I only make money on two things. I make money on the tickets, and I make money on the merch. That's it. They don't make money on anything else. And those guys, they fly in, like Mark Hamill, they have to pay them. Or what they do, a lot of them, if they're really big, they have to pay them. But for most of them, like they would, my friend who has a local convention here, he brings in, what's his name? Eddie, the Black Ghostbuster.
Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson, who, by the way, he's at every convention. He's at every convention. So the way it works is they fly you in, they put you up, room, board, food, but that's it. But you get to keep 100% of the money that you make at the convention. So that's why they charge, and that's why they'll be there all day, because they just, it's
you just described.
It's just a way for them to make money.
You know what you just described?
YouTube?
Strip club.
Strip clubs. You know what else is described?
So the strippers,
hairdressers. They do the same thing.
The strippers pay a house fee when they enter.
Yep.
They have to pay the club before they even start working.
Yep.
But then they get to make the money that they.
And if you're a hair cutter, it's the same thing. You have to pay for the chair, and you rent the chair out, and then you get to keep any of the money. Yeah.
Correct.
A lot of things work like that, actually.
Right. But they're getting their money up front. You know, like if you have a bad day and don't make any money, that's not their problem, right? You still have to pay for your money up front.
Derik and Steven, we should start doing cameos.
That would be hilarious. Hey, Derik, tell my GM he's
anyone
terrible.
can get on Cameo, by the way. Anyone. You could easily do Cameo, by the way. So
you know what? Times are getting tough, Mark.
I know. Times are getting tough. That's although let's see, Deathbringer.
But I don't know. You know, again, I have a conflicted relationship with D&D. Obviously, it's a really weird place and time for me.
Well, we're going to be there, and you're coming with me because we're going to go.
I may not, but
well, no, in the morning you have to, because we have to film there.
Why do we have to film there?
That's where some of the professor stuff is taking place.
At the D&D place?
I think so. One of them, yeah.
No, it's not.
No?
How is he doing something at the D&D place?
Maybe I might be wrong. Well,
you
he's
might
doing
be
stuff
definitely
with Luke.
wrong.
No, he's doing stuff with Luke.
Oh.
Luke Gygax. I think maybe. Well, I'm still going.
I know you are, because you're like, tendrils, go.
You know me. I was like, tendrils must collect them all.
Like, for me, it's more like there's a certain element of I get it. I sound like a hateful old fuck, but like
you are.
But like, you know, a lot of this stuff that I looked at is nothing that I care about. You know, I don't care what some.
Well, actually,
I don't care what some voice actor thinks about.
Oh, I don't care.
I don't care what some
I just
voice
like
actor
to go.
thinks about DMing.
I
don't
I'm not
care
watch any of these things. I just go for the spectacle and the people.
Yeah, I know, and I don't. You know, that's not now. To be clear, I will be. I'm completely being honest here. There are a handful of these D&D talks which sound amazing.
Actually, the keynote is going to be good. I know.
Like,
Dan is
for example,
excellent
there
speaker.
is a talk with Wes Schneider and James Wyatt.
Oh, yeah, no, that's going to be good.
Talking about bringing Everon, Planescape, and Ravenloft.
Oh, yeah.
And the settings and how they brought them into 5th edition, and how using setting can elevate your storytelling and your game, and whether whatever. That sounds amazing, because James Wyatt and Wes Schneider are incredibly creative designers and forces that have been in the industry for 20 plus years. Great. I'm excited. I would go to that. My guess, that one not selling out. On the other hand,
we're going to go to that. We can use
any of the D&D talks who have people whose names I don't know
they
are
all sold
almost
out.
certainly are going to be the ones that sell out, right?
Yeah.
That's like, and like, does that make me a hipster? No, because I'm not like hating on them because I know who they are. I don't know who they are. You know, it's not like a situation where I'm like, oh, that's so and so. I'm not going because fuck them. No, I literally don't know who any of these people are.
By the way, I have good news for you. I got the update. Did you get your update on the dungeons and cabins and fill out those forms?
She sends a lot of information and I don't read it.
Well, this one you got to fill. She does not. I get one thing. I got like one thing in a month.
Oh, speaking of getting emails, you got me real good. Okay. You got me real good.
Yeah, because I'm getting them too. Since you're on Deathbringer, every time somebody backs who is a creator of another project, it sends 50 emails.
Yes,
and there's no way to turn it off.
No, there's no way. And
we can turn off the discussions, but we cannot turn off when creators back it.
Filter them.
Yes, so
I filter them.
For those of you guys who are wondering, every time if you are a backer kit content creator, if you've ever done a backer kit, and you backed Deathbringer,
you have to be it's impressive how many people are doing it.
It is impressive, and it's also kind of nice to be like, oh, who's giving us money?
Right. It is impressive. I'm like sitting there going, wow, he backed it? Wow, they backed it? I was like, wow, everyone's getting Deathbringer.
The thing about the party time W2 thing, that the Sammy Glicker thing.
Oh, yeah. So that our DM, I was like, who's our DM? And she's like, Hannah. And Hannah is actually one of she also sponsors. She does stuff for me on the channel. She actually does some videos. She is local. She's from New York. So we didn't get Sammy, but we got Hannah, which is the next best thing. So I was like, oh, that'd be fun. She's
apparently I've been sorted into a party.
You have?
Hopefully it has Steven in it. I thought you guys were supposed to be together.
Where's you seeing that? I didn't see that.
It says, good morning, camper. You have been sorted into your party on Discord. Go look and say hi.
Really? I don't see my party. Oh, I see my party. Oh, wait, here we are, Sammy Glicker.
If you know your GM, you must have a party.
Oh, no, we're in Sammy's party. I guess we got switched.
You got switched off Hannah into Sammy. There you go.
Yeah, and guess what? So are you. Yay, we're W2 campers together. It's me, Derik, Brock. I don't know who Brock is.
Maiden Misfit.
Sylvia.
And Tsundori.
Yay! Da, 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 da. We are gonna go play D&D. I'm already setting up fun things for us to do in LA. So there's the other side.
This is going to be. You need to give me details so I know like when to start looking for flights.
I need details for myself because I got to figure it out too. So
here's the thing. Keep in mind, people. I got Shanghaied, as someone so eloquently put it in chat. I got Shanghaied into going to this thing. Okay.
Look, Derik is Shanghaied again. Derik is he's sugar daddied. There's a difference.
No, this is a Shanghai.
Shanghai, sugar daddy.
Look, there is no way I would have ever willingly signed up to go play D&D 5th edition in a heavily scripted, on rails, cinematic storytelling event in any other situation.
You're not there for the D&D. You're there for the camping.
But that's the problem. The problem is that the other people are there for the D&D, and I'm going to be at that table. But
with me.
And now,
dude, I'm the king
and that's
shit
why
stirring.
I feel bad. I
delicious.
need to keep in mind. I don't want to look.
I'm not going to ruin anyone.
I'm not going to lie to you. Okay,
I'm not ruining.
I can break a DM real easy. Okay,
dude,
you could break a DM real easy, and we might destroy this experience for these people because you and I are going to be at the same table together. Okay, and that could be a recipe for disaster.
It might be. It might be.
Because I'm going to be sitting there.
About that. One of us is bad enough. Both of us might be. I'm
going to be watching these other people
into pieces.
Play, and I'm going to be watching her DM, and I'm going to be sitting there like having like I'm just going to be like let me free, and I'll just grab them and be like, okay, forget this adventure. What is it that you want to do? Okay, we're doing that. All right, let's go. And they're like, but it's not prepped. I don't care. Let's go. You
gotta do what I do. Gotta just go
to the side. I pull out like
with the
Blaze in the Dark or some like Stone Top or something. I'm like, we'll use this. It's better.
We'll do. This is what we'll do. We'll do what Magic the Gathering was invented for. Instead of playing it on the side while people are getting their shit together and WoW, we'll be like, oh, you guys go kill the orc. We'll be waiting here outside and we're playing Magic. And then when you're done, we'll come back and help you out. Yep. It'll be fine. It's going to be so much fun. And we're going to hang out in LA and I'm going to take you to the best fucking food places you've ever eaten at.
Yeah, I've only been to LA once, and it was for work, and I didn't really go anywhere.
I've been to LA 50 times.
So Lance Quagmire, shout out Lance Quagmire, had a great question, which I also have a vested personal interest in. He said, anything new with the trip to WotC?
Yeah, actually, so we're going to do a little bit of coordinating while we're at Gen Con because
they're all going to be there.
Yeah, they're going to be there. Luke Gygax is going to be there because he's coming too. So I got to work that out. So we're going to do a little coordinating while we're there.
It makes sense that you didn't want to do anything until after the Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's why I was basically waiting, and now it's a little easier. Probably October, November. Actually, probably November would be good. I want to coordinate with them. Like they're like, oh, whenever you want, but I'm like, no, not whenever you want. Like they say that, but I'm like, no. I don't want a bad experience. Let's coordinate. Like let's coordinate this, and let's figure. And Luke wrote me, texted me, and he's like, when are we doing it? I want to go. So I'm like, look, we're all going to be at Gen Con. Let's just figure it out. And we'll do it there. So, and there we go. So that will take care of that. That's one of the reasons you're going to the tower. I mean, Dan's going to be there.
Yeah, but see, everyone I don't care about these people, Steven. I don't care. You could tell me that you are the Grand Poobah Master of Wizards of the Coast, and I'm going to say,
you didn't let me finish.
Cool. Are you getting a hot dog or not? Can you please move? I'd like to get a $35 hot dog from the food truck. I just don't care. I don't care about people. The way that you want to collect people, I want to push them away. Okay. And I want them to never talk to me and never bother me.
Well,
why do you do this to yourself then, Derik? Your entire business model is around talking to people.
Yeah, I know. What is this? You're the way you make a living is being an influencer. What does Steven
always say? He says, Derik, you're bad at business.
Oh my God.
Your goal is to push people away and your business model is to bring them together. Like, what is your
I want to build communities, Mark.
Yeah, that's a way of bringing people together.
I'm not a part.
Oh, you want to then not be part of the community.
I want
you just kind of sit back like a spider in the background watching the community. I want them to join
together in their dislike of me. That's.
I see a zero approval gambit where you bring the world together in their dislike of you.
Oh, Derik. No wonder your life is so weird.
It's a line from Clerks.
Oh, I know that line. I know.
He goes, it's Dante, and he's talking to oh God, whatever the other character's name is. And he goes, you hate people, and he goes, but I love gatherings. Isn't it ironic?
Clerks is pretty much your life. Now I'm thinking about it. There's a lot of things about Clerks that is very similar to your life.
Oh, very much. Very much.
Now I'm thinking about it.
This job would be great
except for all the
fucking
people.
Customers. That's right. But the whole reason the job exists is because of the customers.
I know.
Right? So,
and then he was always be like, oh, and they're so mean to the customers all the time. And yeah, that is quite the movie.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, you hate parties, but I love gatherings. Isn't that ironic? Yeah. So it's the same thing. It's like I'm very much disinterested in that.
All right, now you love musicals. So one of my absolute favorite musicals of all time, which was a total failure, was Be More Chill. I love that. So good.
That one I don't know.
You do not know, but it is a masterpiece. I saw it 3 times. I saw it off Broadway twice, on Broadway once, maybe twice actually. Maybe I saw it 4 times. Anyhow, it was so ahead of its time. It just came out way early, but one of the best songs, look this up, is called Michael in the Bathroom at the Party. And it is about basically, they're supposed to be high school kids, and it's about going to a party, going to a social gathering, and then hiding in the bathroom the whole time. And I'm just like, oh yeah, yep, this is it is a great movie. Actually, what it's about Be More Chill. It's about this guy who gets a chip that's put in his head to make him cool. Right. But the person who's like the computer program is Keanu Reeves. So it's actually this guy who looks and acts like Keanu Reeves, and he starts becoming too cool. But by becoming the cool kid, things get out of control, and that's kind of what it's about. So,
but
Really good.
But
The
yeah, so the
music
long and the
is
short
off.
is, I
so
would
good.
rather spend my time, my unedited, my unprecious time at Gen Con, going down the hall or going down the booths,
Yeah.
seeing new games that I haven't heard of,
Yep.
talking to small independent game designers about their game that they're passionate about. I would rather do that than talk to the CEO or talk to the whatever CEO.
Well, you got lots of chances to do that, so don't worry
Right.
about that.
Like, find me the least successful person in that building, and then after you look at me,
Well, that would be you.
look to the
So
next
you're going to
least
talk to
successful
yourself the
person,
whole
and then
time?
what's that?
That would be you. You're going to be talking to yourself the whole time, the least
That's what I
successful
said.
person.
That's what I said. Find the least successful person.
That's
and then
you.
after you,
So
and, then after you walk past me, find the second least successful person, and that's the person I want to. I want to talk to them. Like I
there's going to be a lot of players there. You can talk to them.
I spent last year? I spent like an hour and a half talking to the FASA folks about Earth Dawn. Like that was great for me. Like, I would rather talk about
someone
Earth Dawn.
remembers who we were way back when. It's like, you know what? That's like watching the Who in now, like seeing the Who play live in concert. You're like, oh, FASA, remember when we were a big deal back in the 80s?
Yeah, more like the early 90s. But
Early
yeah.
90s, yeah. I mean, they were like, remember when we were the shit?
I mean, that's cool for me. And it's like,
yeah, I told you, you're just like, when you go to the concert, like I went to the Who concert and like everyone there is like in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. And you're like, no one there is like under retirement age. And you're like, wow. Yeah. And that's what you're like FASA. Wow. Yeah. You were great when I was a kid. You know what that was like? It was like your emo tour, probably.
I mean, sort of, but I guess I just, again, a lot of the D&D stuff at Gen Con is based around this concept of celebrity. And I don't care about celebrity.
I know you don't, but you're in the minority, unfortunately.
I know. I understand. Like I said, I understand.
Well, because, this was an interesting thing. We'll go back to video games. So there was a time when there were celebrity game designers like Sid Meier and Will Wright, and there was a few others, Peter Molyneux, and we were having a meeting with a Hollywood guy, and he was like, the problem with video games, you don't have celebrities. And this was like a GDC Game Developers Conference, and we're like, we do, but no one knows who they are, and no one cares who they are. And that's when they would have to literally get real celebrities to come play their games.
Yeah.
Because
and I mean, for me, like, again, I know who I am and I get that I'm different.
That's why you get excited to hang out with Mark Seifter.
It hurts my soul when I see people lining up out the door to get something signed by Matt Mercer or Ginny D.
Well, Matt Mercer's
and then
what's wrong with
Matt Mercer's the real deal? Matt Mercer's the real deal.
No, but he's a celebrity.
Yeah, but he's
not, like,
really good.
Look at all.
He's paid his dues.
No, but then
look at all of the things that he's done. People care about actors.
But then
right?
nobody gives a shit that like Jonathan Tweet is like sitting at a table.
Look, I think they should also come to Jonathan Tweet.
No, they should. Clear. Okay, look,
but I don't think they should come to see Matt or Jenny. Why would they not? Like, Matt was Ganondorf in Zelda.
Yeah, Matt's the real deal. Like,
he's been in everything.
He's the real
deal. All over the place. He has strong bona fides. Why would anyone not want to go talk to him? And he's a great guy. What do you have against him?
I just have a weird reaction to where the person doing the audio book of the book gets more kudos than the person who wrote the book.
Look, I agree with you. The game designers do not get as much spotlight as they should. This has always been a problem, and a lot of it comes down to the fact that people just don't want to learn the names in their books as much as the faces that they see. It's easier to connect, or the voices that they hear. But I don't think that means that there's not value in what Jenny or Matt or other people who are doing those kind of things are doing. It just means that the designers are criminally under spotlight.
Yeah, fine. If you wanna hang out and get your picture taken with Matt Mercer, I'm not saying you're a bad person. That's fine. I'm just saying, like, for me, I don't like the disparity between the fact that people are like applauding the voice actors from some video game and then not giving a shit about the people who actually made the video game, right? Like, and that's like the equivalent in D&D, where it's like, hey, all the people who made this game, I don't know any of them, but there's this group of really cool actual play cosplayers, and I know all of their names.
But
and I'm gonna
It's just hard to know the people when they're not. You don't see their face. You're not looking at them. You don't hear their voice, and I think that is genuinely a problem.
Try hard.
It's something that I tried to work on when I was a designer at Paizo, and that I am working on here. Because I'm here, right. I'm in people's faces right now.
People recognize Mark all the time now.
Okay, but Mark, you were right. But that's exactly what Gen Con was for. I went to Gen Con to meet those designers, to have those conversations.
Because you still can.
Yeah, and people don't.
But you
they go talk to fucking Matt Mercer and Ginny D.
Who cares what those other people? Who cares what those other people? It doesn't affect you. So there's a line out the door to meet Ginny D.
It's great for me because
that just means that you can go talk to.
Yes, it is great for me because I can go talk to whoever the fuck I want to because no one gives a shit about them because they don't care about who made their game.
So where I agree with you is that I hope more people will talk to game designers, but they won't. I think that they shouldn't stop talking to the people they do talk to.
All right, and again, I will buy. If you disagree with me, I mean, you might not. I will buy you a dinner, or I will buy you a lunch if you think that
Mark's a cheap date, so you might have to buy him like a week of
I will take
food.
one piece of tofu, please. But like, if you think that the events that are listed in this Gen Con event, if you think that the D&D talks with, Tracy Hickman or with James Wyatt, if you think those ones will sell out, but the ones with all the people Derik doesn't know, which probably means they're massive celebrities, will sell out,
I don't think that. I don't disagree with you that there's a disparity. It is true, and game designers, there needs to be a better way to spotlight game designers.
Nerds. I just expect more from nerds.
But where you could have started with that would have been to say, like, why are people not going to see Jonathan tweet, rather than starting by saying, why are they going to see the other people? But can't you see both? You have time.
You can see both, but you don't have time, and I'd rather you pick the one than the other. So yes, I am casting some negative light on the obsession with the celebrity. It's like,
but you know what?
You just want to turn Jonathan Tweet into a celebrity.
Yes, he deserves it.
Yeah,
but then wouldn't you be casting negative light on the obsession with that celebrity?
Yeah, but at least he did something valuable that makes a difference to you and the way that you play the game.
Celebrities are doing something valuable because usually, like you said, like 30 minutes ago, oh, we're gonna have these talks with all these famous people, and then Ginny D. You know what? People are going to go there because of Ginny D, and then they're going to learn who those other people are.
And Derik,
the
you
designers.
said only Jonathan Tweet had an effect on how you play the game. That's what you just said before what Steven said. Okay, there is a literal effect on how people play the game. I'm not saying it's considered a universally positive effect. Name the Matt Mercer effect.
Matt Mercer.
There's not an effect named the Jonathan Tweet effect.
It's not a good thing.
Like it or not, his GMing style obviously has a major effect on how people play the game, right?
And look, by the way, I think Matt actually is a good GM. He's not my style of GM, but at the same time,
he's a really solid GM. Really he's a great guy. He does so much. But
let's be clear: what he does is not something that is going to be valuable, in my opinion, to you as a gamer. It might be valuable to you as a form of entertainment.
Yes, well, he brings you into
entertainment is valuable,
and only that, he is important because he brings you into the hobby, and that is the most important. Like, everything after you're introduced to the hobby is secondary. Getting you in the door, let me tell you, in marketing, all we do is try to figure out.
I hate marketing.
So I know. Well, guess what? That's what's secret, is that he is the best marketer for D&D probably ever, like, of all time, because he has brought more people into this hobby than anyone, maybe in history. And whether or not they stick with it, or whether or not probably Stranger Things as well. But
so
wait, here we go.
Wait, it stopped circling for me.
I'm back.
We're back,
baby.
everybody.
Hey.
All right, we're back.
Sorry, OBS
Hey.
just crashed for some reason.
Right when some people were saying that they thought the conversation was getting interesting.
Well, no, the OBS just
Yeah. The
crashed
powers
out
that
on
be were like, it's too powerful. The truth
we're
is
like,
being told. We need
oh
to
my
shut it
god,
down
their
immediately."
argument is destroying my my will to live.
No, again,
Crash.
I don't actually care what anybody does, honestly. But it just struggle. It hurts me when I know, like, and I've gotten to know people,
Show
and
me
I just
on the doll,
no,
where
I
the
just-
D&D hurts you, Derik.
I'll tell you. I'll show you on the doll where the D&D hurt me. It's that I
My
know
heart.
plenty. No, I know plenty of people. I've met many people now, especially the last 5 years. People who make these games, who struggle
Like
to pay rent,
who?
who struggle to pay rent.
Okay.
And
You're
then
right.
there's some celebrity who takes the game that they made and they sell out a
Dude,
stadium.
Welcome to
And
the
I think
world.
that's fucked up.
Yeah,
I
that's how
think that's
everything
fucked up.
works. That's
Well,
how
that's fucked up. That doesn't
That's
make it
how-
okay.
I
That
never
doesn't
said
make
it
it
was,
okay.
but that's how our society works. That's
I don't think
that's
that
an
I think it is
law.
bad, but does that
You'll pay
make the celebrity
$150.
bad? I don't
You'll
think
pay
it does.
$150 to sit upper deck to watch Critical Role through binoculars on the table, but you won't buy a fucking book from an independent third-party publisher. It's like, fuck you. You're not a gamer. Like, I hate that. I just hate it. It just
Yeah, but
brings
what
me
about
on.
the people who do? They're the good ones. Is that it?
Yeah, no,
I think
there
that-
are people out there who come and they go, oh my God, I can't believe it. I'll take one of those. I'll take one of those. I already own that, but I'm going to buy it again because I want Mark to sign it.
You know what?
Those
You know what?
people are fucking MVP.
I am gonna get a shirt and it's gonna say Derik Malenda on the front, and the back it's gonna say Crowd Gatekeeper, and it's gonna.
So here's the thing that I have
It's not about
a
me.
problem
It's
with
about-
about your argument, Derik. You seem to think this is a zero-sum game where the existence of people who are excited about Matt is decreasing the number of people who come to see, let's say, James Wyatt, not Jonathan Tweet, since Matt and
You are
James
using
Wyatt are working on the
trickle-down
same game.
economics. We're
right?
talking about trickle
I don't
down
think that
economics.
it
that
is.
does not work. No.
I don't think that this is a
Like if a million people come to see Matt Mercer,
No.
maybe I'll get a couple more come by the booth.
yeah, that's
It's good
I'm saying
for
it's not
everybody.
zero sum. If a million people come to see Matt and some of them come
actually
to
will
see
get a few
James
more
Wyatt
come
or
by the
something
booth.
else, that means that is increasing the number of people who came there. If you took away Matt, that doesn't mean it's going to add more to James.
Also,
It
I
might have
disagree. I
subtracted.
do think people's wallets is a zero sum. They
Well,
are
that
there to
is-
spend money,
Yes.
and it's going to go. If it goes to X, it doesn't go to Y.
Yeah, and that, to bring us back to topic, is why D&D rented out an entire off-site building so that you're trapped. It's like a casino, man. You get in there, you're trapped. There's no walls. There's no clocks. There's no walls. There's
They're
walls.
pumping
There's-
in oxygen.
They're pumping in oxygen. There's like dizzying floor, dizzying ceiling, no windows. The hate is too powerful. My computer keeps
I
crashing.
actually think it is. I actually think it's YouTube because that was happening to me yesterday.
Oh.
I was getting,
Interesting.
when I was streaming.
Yeah.
I was like, my internet was fine, but then like suddenly my OBS would go down to 0 kbps.
I didn't see it on you guys or Kelsey yesterday though for the
No, I
Death
didn't.
Bringer.
No,
Well,
it
could be
was
anything.
later. The problem, Cranky Smurf, is if you reset your OBS sometimes, it will end the stream.
It will end the stream.
Yeah,
100%.
I can't.
If
reset
you
it.
hit start streaming again, it'll start a new stream, and then everyone has
Yes.
to transfer to it. And it's
Yeah, I
because, by
can't
the
do
way,
that.
YouTube is terrible. It hates live streaming. It doesn't support it well at all, and it's terrible. So there's that. But yeah.
Yeah, that is exactly what will happen with that.
I'm
but
quitting I'm quitting some apps too. Just to free up
No, it's not
time.
anyway,
I'm I promise
TLDR,
you.
I don't think it's a zero-sum game. I think everybody is assisting and helping pull up each other, but that there is correct that it is almost criminal how low profile most, not all, but most TTRPG game designers are. You'll get a few who become breakouts that are just like celebrity game designers, but there are so many who've designed such amazing games and who most people will just never know who they are except for a few.
But how
vocal
would
fans.
they? How would they?
It's hard. That's
You have to be
I was
a
working on this. In fact,
conscientious
I even
consumer.
Wait.
I even had this as something where I was trying to find a way to help myself, but also others who are at the company to be able to get our names out there more and to help people know who was making the games on like a list of things that I wanted to like improve or do on like some of my performance evaluations, and eventually like everyone involved just agreed with me to just take it out because no one could come up with an idea, and it wasn't really anybody's fault that we couldn't figure it out because it's just hard. What would you do?
What we do?
Yes, you could have these giant YouTube streams all the time that Steven's doing, but Paizo couldn't. Paizo couldn't afford to say, Mark, we're like not just Mark, but we want to do it for everyone, right? Like they couldn't afford to be like, yeah, we're gonna every week do 2 to 3 hours of streaming with
several. If marketing is so important as you say it, then they should do that. Maybe they should make 1 or 2 less books and actually put some effort and emphasis into actually creating a marketing product. Yeah. Paizo streams, by the way, are embarrassing.
They are. Yeah, not that I'm like spending a ton of money, but at least my stream is clean.
When we did that one remote spot from Gen Con up in not the Strosacker. What's the name of the ballroom? Sagamore.
Oh yeah, Sagamore.
And Sagamore and Thirsty was like, man, this is like a more professional setup than I thought.
It is. That was a pro.
Like, there's like actual microphones and lights, and he's like, what? He's like, what is going on? Meanwhile, I'm just some dude with a backpack, you know?
Some dude with a backpack with $20,000 worth of equipment. So
you should see what I'm bringing for frickin' Professor, bro.
I can't wait. I'm going to be excited. I'm going to bring a makeup crew.
I got to be honest with you. I'm only not going to do this because we aren't doing as many seminars. But one of my personal bugaboos I hate is that none of the seminars at Gen Con, by the way, it's embarrassing how bad the audio, the PA and the audiovisual is at Gen Con. It is to me unconscionable that they do not have PA speakers for the seminars. Like, you're fitting 150 people into a room, and then you're expecting people on the far side of the table to be reaching the back of the room. It's crazy. And so I was literally going to bring monitors. I was going to bring speakers.
Wow.
So that our panel or professor could be heard by the entire audience. And then I was going to run it through my audio board so that we would have a remote mic so that when someone asks a question or comes up to ask a question at a mic stand, they could hear it not only online, but also in the room. It's done so poorly.
By the way,
they just take your money, they spit in your face, and then they say, thank you, do you want another? It's crazy. It's just so crazy.
And you know yes.
What? I don't blame the companies, by the way. I do not blame the companies. I blame you. I blame you, the consumer, for putting up with this shit.
Well, we're going to be there in 2 weeks, by the way.
Well, I get hate for a lot of the things that I say. Not as much anymore because I've relaxed a little bit. But I've never gotten as much hate as when I shit on Gen Con.
Oh, even I was like, oh man, you guys. Well, it's going to be a lot better than last year because this year we don't got a booth. Last year,
I was actually a little terrified, and then you reminded me that we have a lot of friends that we can use their booth for. But because I was like, I love having a home base and like a place.
That's why I told you, because I'm like, dude, do you know how many people we know? I was like, Need Games alone, like Paizo will hold it, Need Games will hold it, Backer Kid will hold it, Kelsey will hold it, Crown will hold it.
By the way, Nin, who I haven't seen in a while, Nin, what's up? Says, I think Derik is just trying to get a long line ready for his slapping booth. Did you all ever get his fursuit order?
The slapping booth? Is that where everyone comes up and slaps?
No, remember there was going to be the you get to slap Derik Malenda at the Roll for Combat booth?
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, that's going to be an unplugged.
There you go. It'll have to be an unplugged.
I'm looking forward to unplugged. That's going to be fun.
Shouldn't that be on the wheel of prizes?
Oh, the wheel of prizes.
And it's like slap Derik.
Case in point, the people who'll be lining up, they'd all be paying patrons. Like, right? Like, it's not random haters. It's people who are already giving me money. They're like, I feel entitled to this slap.
They'd be like, I'm paying you $7 a month, Derik. Shouldn't I get 2 slaps?
Techno Monkey, I don't need hugs. I've got dogs.
That's what my dogs are for.
Yeah, they're perfect angels, and they've never done anything wrong.
I know. I sit there all the time, and I'm like looking at my dog, and I'm like, I do not deserve you.
Right. If you ever see me do this or this,
that's what I'm saying. But if I do that, I'm looking
at both of my dogs, one on the left, one on the right.
Well, my dog's usually here, but she's outside. She likes to go back and forth. Actually, she could be waiting outside waiting for me to let her in. Let's see. My other dog used to knock on the door. Ruby, oh no, she's sleeping. My other dog my favorite dog of all time, Zoe, who was my dog. She would walk up. She was so bossy. She would walk over to the door and go bang, bang, bang. Like, and you'd hear like someone laugh, and then they open the door. She'd come in. She's like, wherever she wanted to go, she'd bang on the door.
Like, I love boss. Like Maple, my younger dog. I mean, she's
Super
8,
bossy
but
dog.
my younger dog. Like, if you're sitting on the couch, like she'll get next to you and then look at you, and then she'll like put her paw on your arm, and then she'll start like putting her head under your arm to be like, no, you are going to pet me, and I'm going to force it, and I love it.
Oh yeah, Ruby. Well, that's what I always said. Zoe was I've had a lot of dogs, and this dog was a genius. She was so smart. I've never seen a dog this smart, and it was like,
Maple's sweet. She's not the smartest dog.
Yeah, we're saying Ruby's smart, but Ruby's not the smartest dog. But Zoe was. We were scared how smart she was, and it's like it's like I can't describe it, but like she would look at you, and you knew what it was like. She could read your mind. She knew what you wanted. She knew how she would get stuff from you. She was just, man. I've never seen a dog like that in my entire life. God, she was so smart. The funniest thing is, in the backyard, there's a little pond with these frogs, and she's a Whedon, and both my dogs are Whedons, and there's a little pond in the background with frogs, and she would just go there and stare at them. And whenever someone would come over, she would like run outside and look at them, waiting. And they're like, "What is she doing?" It's like, she wants to show off her frogs to you. And I'm like, so you have to go out on the back and like, oh, look. And she'd be so proud of her frog pond. Yet she had nothing to do with it. She's like, look at these things. I don't know what they are, but they're really cool. And she'd have to show off her frogs to everybody. And I was like, okay. And she was, unfortunately, she died. Actually 2 years ago, almost to the day. Kind of sad.
You know, interestingly, I had a bunch of notifications on my Discord, and somebody said apparently on the PF2E subreddit that the tides have turned, and now people are hating on Archives of Nethys.
The tides have not turned. They're hating on everybody.
Oh, really?
Yes. But I mean, there's no one on there who says that they hate both. It's that there are factions, and some of them are upset either way. And some people are saying, come on, guys, let's wait to hear more. And some people are saying they both made communication mistakes. It could have been better. This is a bad situation all around. Nobody's a villain, but nobody's a hero. This is just what the world is. So you see pretty much every possible opinion. But yes, there are some people doing in both directions. Because what happened was while we were doing this, or maybe just before, but I hadn't seen it until in the middle of this episode, Archives of Nethys posted up a timeline.
Oh no! That is a chef's kiss of death. That's like,
they posted up a timeline of like when they had communicated in the past, and they were like, "This is when we communicated, but Jim was out of the office. He didn't get back to us. We didn't circle back to him. We didn't know if anything was coming, so we posted the public statement." But in that, they also said that they heard the murmurings of what this marketing agreement would be, which would be that they get it early, but just subscribers early rather than like the commercial early, and that they get some of the art, but curated ones so that Paizo is okay with putting out there, not all of the art. And then the person from Archive Nethys said, I talked to the people and we all agreed, no way, we don't want this. We don't want some of the art. Like, that would just make it look weirdly patchwork. And I think already it doesn't have all of the art, does it? But and then they said, we don't care about getting it a subscriber. Many of the people who are volunteers are already subscribers, so they get it at that point already. And so because of that phrasing, because people are really going in on the minor phrasing, of course, because it's Reddit, right? Because of that phrasing, people are now saying like, well, that makes it just sound like they spat in the face of an offer because they wanted more and they wouldn't take the compromise. And then people are disagreeing with whether it's standard in the corporate world for business to business external emails to follow up when someone says they're out of the office, and you don't hear back from them before doing a public statement, and it's a mess. But there are people who are obviously very upset about this for legitimate reasons, and so there's vitriol on all directions now.
This is a very nice nuanced take. Someone made a comment on my post on my YouTube channel. They said, They said the AON blog basically says, if you're not happy, blame Paizo. And the Paizo blog says, if you aren't happy, tell AON to run our ads. They said it's an incredible, messy breakup. But
my point is, I have subscribed. Oh my God. I think I've been a Paizo subscriber since like Adventure Path issue like number 5 or something, like way back when. And I still am to this day. Like I get everything and I don't read half of it. It just comes in the mail. I look at it and put it on my shelf.
Like
I don't
a good Paizo subscriber does.
I'm the best Paizo subscriber. The only one better is
buys everything, plays nothing.
Right.
They love you, Steven.
I play a lot.
No, but he makes
play a lot.
like most Paizo subscribers
correct
do
me if
not.
I'm wrong. I believe you are playing a different Adventure Path right now, sir.
But with Paizo-based rules, and Derik, most of the typical subscribers who would buy it and just read it and keep it on their shelf and not play it are not the publisher for the top grossing third-party company, right? Yes. Like he's very invested in the Pathfinder.
I'm very invested, but my thing is, I see. No,
sometimes I think you guys are more invested in Pathfinder 2's success than Paizo.
I think Paizo is Derik, even if they make weird decisions. They make
weird,
once in a
terrible
while.
decisions.
No, they don't make terrible decisions. You try to they have to run a company with 100 employees that's unionized, which really makes things way more complex. In Washington, which makes things way more complex.
It's a complicated situation.
It is a difficult
care. They
place.
Obviously care. You could see.
Very difficult.
You could tell from the messages they sent how
hard. They didn't care.
When during the Diamond thing, how heartrending that was. It was not just some corporate thing. You could tell how heartrending that was when they lost the staff members and when the Diamond thing struck them. They obviously care about the success of Pathfinder.
And also,
I just said Mark, I'm going to use your words against you. I didn't say they didn't care about Pathfinder. I just said that you guys care more about Pathfinder 2 than they did.
I think that it'd be hard to make a comparison. But I think that there's no amount about the success of Pathfinder that they could care more when it is their entire livelihood.
This is where I make some pitch about how 13 Omens is them trying to pivot away from Pathfinder.
I think it's them trying to cover their bases.
I don't understand what your question is. That's probably great. Yeah, you're not probably right. That is.
It doesn't mean they're pivoting out of Pathfinder. It just means they want to have more bases covered.
Yeah.
Right. You could say, Derik,
zero-sum design game. They're not hiring more designers. 13 Omens work means less Pathfinder work.
I actually don't think so, because the people that they had doing that were the board game contingent who were making things like elemental stones. Do you play elemental stones, Derik?
Has 100 employees when I feel like everyone who works for them says that they're an independent contractor.
Derik, do you play elemental stones? I heard it's really good. I haven't played it very much. There are other games like that Paizo puts out. The people who are doing those board games are the ones who are working on maybe there are some people. Obviously, it uses edit, layout, and art, which is a limited factor for the other books. You're right.
I am strangely biased. So
with my elemental stones.
I will admit, I am strangely biased against board games made by companies that aren't board game companies. I know that's probably bad for me. This is not a role-playing game thing. This is like a Derik board gamer thing. I've just historically been very unimpressed with board games made by companies that aren't board game companies.
Fair. But there are a couple people at Paizo who are focused more on the board games and making other games, and it is like its own separate sub-branch. You're right that it uses the same art and editing assets as everything else, because you need editors and art people and layout on everything.
But also, you're talking to me. I'm like, okay, Pathfinder 2nd Edition is 7 years old now, and they have 33 classes or something. I'm like,
well, the remaster is not as old though, and that's kind of a point. Something.
Yeah, and if they had called it 3rd edition, I would be 100%.
Because in the end, doesn't matter. I put out a poll. Do you care if Archives of Nessus releases content the second it becomes publicly available? The answer and the question is yes, I want it now. Or no, I can wait a few weeks.
Well, by the way, I'm going to point out that it doesn't always hit the second it becomes available anyway, right, if it's a big update.
Right. But my point is it's like, you're still going to get it. I don't see what the big deal is. You'll get it. It just might not. It might be a little bit later.
Do you remember the uproar when the remaster stuff wasn't on the site? You say it's a few weeks. What if a few weeks turns into a few months?
Yeah, the remaster took a really long time, and that's not because of the license. But here's the thing, though, Derik. The remaster was huge. I don't remember how many months it took that it was late. What was it?
Because they had to restructure their site as well.
I am not remembering. So I'm just going to say it was 2 months. It maybe had been 3. It may have been 1. I don't remember. But the difference now is however early they got in advance will be added to that. So if subscriber advance is, I don't know how far advanced the commercial license was. Let's say the commercial license was going to be 2 weeks more in advance than the subscribers were. Now that means that remaster, instead of being 2 months later, would have been 2 months and 2 weeks later, if you see what I mean.
By the way, the reason
it's adding another factor to a factor that already exists that could make it not be been on time even to begin with, as you said.
Look, the main reason it took so long is because they designed their site to just handle first and second edition, and now they had to handle a 2.5, which is now another. They had to completely restructure the back
while
end.
keeping the legacy stuff. Yeah, by the way, they did a great job with that. That was not easy.
Which was a stupid decision.
It had nothing to do with data entry.
I think that was really dumb.
It had nothing to do with
I think it was
entry.
Useful to have that legacy stuff available because some people still are playing with
I see this, by the way. It's like
and some of the content only exists in legacy form.
Okay, again, Derik being precious. Listen, I get that for some people this is like your very first time ever playing a role-playing game, and that's fine. But I see this with D&D, and it bothers me all the time where people are like, "Don't worry, it's 2014 and 2024. Don't anybody can play it. Don't worry." Like, no, accept it. Games release new editions, stuff goes out of print, and move on with the times. Like, it's just the way it is. Like, it's like everyone is so afraid, and they just make these like huge efforts to be everything to be backwards compatible for the end of time. And it's like, no, just buy a new book, you cheap fucks.
Well, I don't get it as much as I used to, but we used to get a lot of people like, why isn't it coming out for first edition?
Right. I'm like, we still get that.
And I'm like,
we still get first edition.
I won't make any money.
These years.
I won't get any money. That's why.
Oh, you make it for 5th edition, but you don't make it for you make it for 5th edition D&D, but you don't make it for 1st edition Pathfinder. Well, I guess get fucked us. Oslee says, but it was not a new edition. Yeah, they do that. And then then you have to, if you have to remake your site and rebuild it from the ground up, don't tell me it's not a new edition.
So 89%, it's a small sample.
Yeah, it's an incredibly small number
of
voters.
But it's a very small number. But the point
your audience is exactly number one. Your audience is the type of people who do spend money on RPGs.
Yes, exactly.
And many of them don't even play Pathfinder. And the question was, do you care if Archives of Nethys releases content the second it becomes public? So they could have said no, even if they just don't even ever use it.
Right. I mean, it's a few weeks. Like, on average, and this is the other thing, is that it takes for a new edition to get cycled in, and that includes new rules and everything, months, if not years, before people will start bringing in new content. If I'm in the middle of a campaign and a new book comes out, unless it's got something absolutely amazing, and now I'm not talking about a monster book because that's different, but I'm talking about like, new class. Well, you're in the middle of a campaign. You're not going to be using the new class.
Whereas, you know what? Shout out and respect to the GOATs, the OGs, okay? TS motherfucking R/Wizards of the Coast. When AD&D 2nd edition was coming to an end and 3rd edition was about to drop out, they literally released a series of different adventures that you could use to end your campaign.
No, that's...
The one of the most famous was called Apocalypse Stone, and it was an
I remember the Apocalypse Stone.
I remember that.
And it was an adventure that was designed because back then campaigns meant
the Tarrasque.
Yeah, campaigns didn't mean you're playing an adventure path, right? Adventure path was not a thing yet. A campaign just meant we're playing these characters and stories happen. It's not like we're on some plot line to 20. But the idea was like, you're playing your AD&D 2nd campaign. You've been playing for 5 years. 3rd edition's come out, and you're really excited about it. Well, why don't you drop this adventure into your next session? And the end of the world came, and the world ended. And hey, guys, cleaned up. All right, new PHPs.
There's also Die Vecna Die, which was a great adventure.
Lance said, how did those do? My guess, Lance, is they did about as well as every other adventure published, which is to say terribly. But
even though they were good, I liked Apocalypse Stone, but and Die Vecna Die was great. It was better than Apocalypse
Stone. It's considered one of the best adventures of all time.
Every
Isn't that
business
like top 20, top 30 list?
goes through this. I will give you an example of one that probably affected almost everyone who's watching this show right now. Remember when Gmail was free? Remember when Gmail broke the world?
Gmail's not free? Oh, when you mean when it came out and it was free.
Right. And it was free. I mean, Gmail can be free, but I
pay $5 a month for like 100.
Right. If you don't want, you basically have to pay a small fee. But Gmail
you don't have to.
You don't have to. But
mine is currently free, but I run out of space.
But you run out of space
deleted,
and you get ads.
Right. If you've never deleted an email in the entire lifetime that you've used the service, then you need $5 a month.
Right.
I have almost never deleted emails. I still haven't run out of space, except I did have to get rid of pictures that my mom kept sending because she would send way too many photos.
Exactly. But my point is that you there was a time when Gmail was free, no matter what. The unlimited everything. Everything was unlimited. And then they realized, you know what? We need to start making money. And then they started to make it. And I remember with Netflix, I've been using Netflix.
Well, you're seeing that with AI now, for sure.
You're seeing it with everything. It's like AI with Netflix. I was always sitting there like, one day they're going to start running ads. Like, Netflix never had ads. None of those streaming services had ads. Well, now they have ads. It's like, unfortunately,
it's part of the way businesses work, right?
Yeah.
There's this phase where they're just trying to creep into you, right? They're
market
extending
share.
Their vines and their roots.
The market share.
And and during that phase, they're gonna be as nice as possible. They don't do anything. They just want you to pick it up and they want it to become ubiquitous. Yeah. Then once you've already sunk in and it's a part of you and it's gonna be a cost to you to get out of it because your inertia is staying with it.
In the ecosystem,
that's when they shitify it by adding all these other things and start trying to monetize it more, right? That's
Pretty
just the
much.
cycle.
That is the cycle. And unfortunately, Paizo has really hit a bad. I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff that hit them that they had no control over. And they gotta man the boats, circle the wagons. I was like, where'd Derik go? Circle the wagons and make money. I mean, they can't do everything for free. I hate to say it. Oh, what a cute doggy. Which one is that, Zeus?
This is Maple.
I can't hear you.
This is Maple.
Oh, that's Maple.
It's Maple.
Oh, what a cute doggy.
You're very cute.
Very cute. My dog's outside sleeping. She's just like, oh. So the informal poll has 91% of the people don't even care if they have to wait a little while. And that's the thing. It's like Archives of Nethys, they're being kind of pissy. They're like, no, we want everything now. And we want it early. And we want it free. I'm like, well, now you're going to be like everyone else, man. Just, you can put it up.
Wait, that's not Archives of Nethys. You mean the players who want Archives of Nethys to get it right away?
No, I think Archives of Nethys they were the ones saying that they wanted the. Didn't they say that they didn't like that deal where they would have
they didn't find value in a marketing deal where they would get it at subscription time since they already had subscriptions, or where they get some of the art but not all of the art.
Well.
And so that's why some people were attacking that wording, and some people were
everyone being shocked that people are complaining about something for free. I mean, the expression "don't look a gift horse in the mouth" has been around for a very long time. Back when people were giving gift horses.
I don't think
when's the last time you got gifted a horse?
I don't know. Not very often. I do have to say.
But you should definitely not be checking their teeth out. Anyways.
You have racquetball?
I do. It's 5 o'clock already.
Yeah, all right. Oh, what did he say?
Son
is complaining that instead of getting a free large pizza, they're getting a free medium pizza.
No, they're getting a free large pizza. They're just getting it with one less topping, and it's coming an hour late.
Which, to be fair, depending on when you need that pizza for an event, coming an hour late might be a deal breaker for you.
But Mark, I want to start playing the Inquisitor today.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't want to pay any money for it.
Right. I want to play this right now. I want all the art and I want it for free. That sucks. I got to pay for it, or wait a couple weeks.
The funny thing is,
Heavens forbid.
if you don't need the character builder, you can get a lot of the stuff, including the art, for free on Demiplane. Right?
I'm going to say something about Paizo.
Right?
Really,
yeah.
It's just that Demiplane has, I guess, done such a poor job of advertising that fact that like they can still, with a partner that does still have a commercial license,
you can also get it from Path Builder, which they do everything by hand.
They don't have art on Path Builder.
No, but they have all the rules and they built in.
But it's not going to be up day of.
No, but it's not going to be day of.
I hate to bust Paizo's bubble here. No one gives a shit about the art on Archives of Nethys, except unless they're copying it to make tokens, and even then you can probably get that from a different source anyways. They care about the rules.
Yeah, but they have to protect their IP, which means
Derek,
you can't protect some without the other. You have to protect them all.
They have to protect everything that because people are ripping the art off of Archives of Nethys and putting it in a variety of other places. Probably, maybe not maliciously. Maybe they think that this is just free community use the art or something like that. I don't know.
What prevents me from doing that otherwise?
I think it was just it was just a talking point. It ended up just being one of the bullet points in the end.
I don't know. Like apparently, when I was there wasn't a thing about people taking the art off of archives because they didn't really have the art for very long.
For a company that historically releases all of their stuff for free, and even though it's going to, whatever, it's delayed, they still have an SRD. It's still going to be. They were always very precious about it. It was always weird to me when they'd be like, Derik, you can't show all the pages of the PDF. What if someone takes a screenshot of every single page that you shot and then they do a digital scan and they make it available? And I'm like, you literally are giving the rules away for free. Like, what do you care?
Okay, so Derik, I understand this viewpoint and I don't agree with them. The reason why, and to be clear, there were a lot of people doing it, not just you, and it should have come down all at once to everybody with just like, please stop. We didn't have a problem with this in the past, but we do now. The problem was that the first look reviewers were doing it, and it caused the people to be able to make a digital copy of it before any of the other vectors that were coming out.
But they're getting it they were not giving you money anyways. Like, you know what I mean?
But it changes the ability to market and have things come out. Like, Derik, I get, and I know
it made no sense.
I doubt you've been following the Impossible Magic marketing push because that's just not where you're at.
No,
I have, and I even saw people on Reddit, which is not always a place that's going to like appreciate marketing, saying this was such a great marketing push. They did a great job of getting it to different creators and giving us a steady stream of information to keep me excited about this book. There was literally a Reddit post about that. I could probably find it, but the point of the fact is they did do that. They carefully curated which things were going to be seen in which order. And they let people talk about each one at a time. And I think it did build anticipation. I think it's going to help the book. When one person showed up the entire book, they can't do that because now it's like nobody's going to be talking about, it's a Wild West, and they can't just be like, okay, now let's talk about these archetypes. It's like, well, no, we've seen it 2 weeks ago when it was on that thing, and we made a PDF.
You may very well be right, but my general experience has been, and this coming as someone who used to cover a lot of Pathfinder 2 content, all of it. Wow, this looks great. I can't wait to get it completely for free. That was like, you know what I mean? Like that, like the marketing hype.
You're wrong that a lot of people can't wait to get it for free.
Archives of Nethys gives it for me for free, and if it's not available on day one for free, I'm gonna bitch.
Derik, you're not necessarily wrong about that. However, there were some percentage of people who were buying, and the excitement for the people who did or didn't buy is impacted by the way that they do the marketing push. It definitely is. And so they just didn't want it all to kind of like guzzle down at one point when they wanted to be able to release it over time and build up anticipation. Look, even for the people who, wouldn't buy it and just get it for free eventually.
It is obviously clear for anybody who has watched me for any length of time that I obviously do not necessarily agree with all of the decisions / game direction / marketing choices / who they choose to target decisions of Paizo. Okay.
Life choices.
But it's still very weird and strange to me the way that they are very precious about their IP when they give it away for free. And
I think it comes down to, and then I will probably let you go, is when OGL first came out, the internet was a very small place, and they thought, hey, this will be a great way to get the game out and let people share it and build community and build products for it. So we don't have to do, and it did. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. And then the internet started. And then suddenly it was like, wait, now anyone can look up the rules anywhere, anytime for free. That's not what they meant to do. That was not the intended goal. The intended goal was to make it easy for creators to make products for
I should
their
also
game
point
systems.
out, and I've talked about this before, okay? Pathfinder, first edition, is actually an example of why the OGL failed, in my opinion, as a marketing platform, because the point of the OGL was that it would allow third-party publishers without a license to create the very low-margin materials for the game that TSR had historically struggled with. Things like adventures, campaign settings, and the like. And that these people could make this product free from any license to do so, and knowing that they could essentially publish it in perpetuity, but that they would still be required to buy the core books like Player's Handbook and Dungeon Master Guide and Monster Manual, thus driving business back to Wizards of the Coast / TSR Hasbro. But what ended up happening is people realized I can use these OGL rules or license, and I can literally just copy pasta the rules for third edition and essentially make my own Dungeon Master's Guide and my own Player's Handbook, and someone could buy into my game ecosystem and never give Wizards of the Coast a dime. Yeah. That has to be considered a massive failure. And that is directly, I think, what led to the GSL. Because Wizards of the Coast said, yeah, we're never doing that again, because everyone just took our rules, published them. I mean, not just Paizo. I mean, like the EverQuest. There is an EverQuest D20 book. And guess what? You don't need to have a Player's Handbook to buy it. In the back of the book, there's a copy of OGL 1.0. And it says, in order to use this product, you must own a copy of Player's Handbook. You don't, because they put all the rules, all the combat rules, all the feats, all the classes, all the rules for how much encumbrance you can carry before your weight penalties come in. It's all in that book. You don't have to buy anything from Wizards of the Coast. You could buy EverQuest. I think it was published by Sword and Sorcery, the imprint from White Wolf. Okay? And they made a whole line of that. There was even an EverQuest Game Master's Guide. Guess what it contained? The information from the DMG. So, no, Wizards of the Coast made no money off of that.
Well, that's what I said. It's that it started off in one way, and I think that's where the OGL scandal came from, is they're like, man, these people are just downloading this stuff and playing and getting our rules for free. Well, we can't have that anymore.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. But now, not that they're doing the same thing, but Paizo's like, look, we can't stay in business if we're just giving everything away for free. It's like, we just can't. And that's not unreasonable. And I agree. I'm like, look, they already are doing so much. It's like, okay, it's still free, most of it. Yeah. It's just, you're going to have to wait a few weeks. Or
they easily could have been in a situation where they were looking at some kind of horrible choice where they knew they didn't like any of them, where the finance people were like, okay, so we cut 12 people. We could either cut a 13th person, or we can do this other thing where we cut these 10 other like programs and initiatives, including some of these partnerships of your choice that are whatever commercial partnerships are giving the least. And then they'd be like, but wait, one of them is Archives of Nethys. We don't want to cut that.
Yeah.
And then them being like, okay, well, do we want to cut another person? And
by
then
the way,
they had to make the decision.
Begrudging Paizo being like, I mean, I think the fact that they gave away everything for free on day one is overly generous anyways. And I don't even think they should necessarily be doing that. Like, you want the game? You want to play our game? You like our game? You love our game? You're tweeting Ginny D that she should be playing Pathfinder 2nd edition if she has any problems with 5th edition. Cool.
To the point that she's getting upset by it.
The point that she's getting upset about it. Cool. Buy it then. Buy it. Stop telling people to play our game when you're not spending any money on it. Why don't you give me $20 so I don't have to fire this person? Yeah. Okay. Cool. I think Paizo is overly generous. You would think I'm running that company. right? And so, I actually, in a rare sign of solidarity, I'm kind of with Paizo on this, honestly. At the end of the day,
Yeah, that is rare for Derik. Everybody,
that is rare.
Let's keep that in mind.
I don't know. I mean, I see both sides, but I have to say, like, look,
I feel awful for both.
And we all know that, like, they're times are tough for everybody. But I think I highlighted the problem that Paizo faces. Right, they're a big company, but they're not a big game.
Well, and not only that, it's like, look, I guarantee if the Diamond stuff didn't happen, none of this would be happening. Like, it's like the remaster was, in retrospect, maybe not such a great idea because it cost a lot of time. It was
necessary, though.
It was necessary.
It turned out not to be necessary. It turned out not to be necessary.
It really wasn't. But the point,
because the OGL went nowhere. And in fact, actually, we have Creative Commons now.
It cost them so much time, so much money. And then they printed all those books, and now they're all gone on top of that.
And to be clear, I don't blame Paizo because once bitten,
it's not their fault.
No. Once bitten, twice shy. Right? They already went through this when they got fucked the first time.
Yes. Right. Even if Paizo had heard, oh, wait, we're backpedaling, we're going to keep it. Listen to me. It would have been malpractice not to do it, not to divorce it now, because the third time that they do it, that Paizo is going to be ready, right? You don't want to be in a situation where you're still putting your hand in a tank that has a man-eating shark in it, even if it's said that it's not going to bite your fingers off this time.
That being said, Mark, shame on Paizo for having to wait until that was the moment to make that decision. They should have done that before they even released
Paizo was always...
They should have done that before they even released Pathfinder 2nd Edition.
So there were people who wanted to do that, to be clear. In the office, there was debate about that. And the eventual decision was, and I think this was the right decision, but you might disagree, was to try to push it closer so that an eventual Pathfinder 3 would be able to do that cleanly, but not do it out of fear that doing it would cause a hemorrhage of people who already, some people are going to stick with Pathfinder 1. That definitely happened. Right. But if you don't get a kind of what do you call it? Like critical mass of people who switch over, and which they did. We did get a critical mass. Pathfinder 2 became huge and successful. But the worry was if too much changed, which it would have needed to change to be completely divorced, that it might have sunk Pathfinder 2. And I still think that's probably true, that there's a chance, not a guarantee, but a chance that, because in those early days, it was like touch and go. And it wasn't clear that Pathfinder 2 was going to be as big a success as it eventually was. Right. So that's what it was, Derik. And I understand that point of view. I heard that point of view. It was a good idea if you were willing to take the risk that it sunk the edition.
Yeah.
Well, the point is that times are changing and these businesses have to change with the times. And unfortunately or fortunately, like the way Paizo was doing business, and they really were doing business kind of the same way for 20 plus years, which is they were relying only on book sales. They were relying heavily on the big box stores, and they were relying on Diamond, quite frankly, and well, big box stores are going away. Diamond is gone. They lost $10 million worth of inventory. It's very expensive. And now there's tariffs where even if they're illegal, doesn't matter. You still got to pay them. And I'm like, it's getting really expensive and really hard to print physical products and ship them out to people and keep them in stores. And people just buy less. Like people are like, oh, I'm never going to stop buying books. Yeah, well, you are in the minority. You literally are in the minority. Okay, I just saw another thing about Amazon and the Kindle and how it absolutely almost destroyed Barnes & Noble, and how Barnes & Noble actually pivoted and is coming back.
Barnes & Noble panicked. They had to make their own. They made
the Nook.
Yeah, and the Nook, and then Barnes & Noble went private, by the way, and they did manage to restructure themselves, but they had to close a lot of stores. Like it was a big deal. Like it was a big deal. And one of the reasons that people are coming back is, believe it or not, the 20-year-olds, not millennials, the
Zennials.
I mean, whatever, Gen A.
No, it's Gen Z 20-year-olds.
No, Gen Z.
Wait, are they Gen Alpha now?
Yeah, Gen Alpha
is like 20-year-olds. Gen Z is like 25.
Yeah, like
Okay.
Gen Z
No,
and
you're
Gen
maybe right.
Alphas.
But wait, I thought I was told that my 4 and 6-year-old nephews are also Gen Alpha. So the 20-year-old must be like the oldest side of
Well, the point
I am,
is,
I'm about as young of a millennial as you can get. I think if like you're in that transition.
I'm a little younger than you, and am also considered a young
Zennial.
millennial. And
You're
Linda's even a little
Zennial.
younger, and is still considered a really young millennial.
If you were born basically in the 90s,
called
I think
Zennial. You're between. You're an
right,
X and a millennials between the two.
But that's what I'm saying. If you're born in the 90s, you're basically Gen Z.
Yeah.
So like,
because Linda is a millennial, but her little brother, who's 8 years younger, is Gen Z.
I'm Gen X. So.
And he is just barely 30.
Yeah.
So
my point is
that makes sense.
They're starting to get into books again, which is funny, and and going to bookstores and like touching grass, and that's where they're doing it. And there's been a resurgence, but you know what? This is where everything's going. Everything is going digital, and
look how
they don't own this digital aspect. They don't own it. You know,
look how beautiful these books are.
Guess what?
They're so nice.
They're in my car. I went to the dump yesterday, and I go to dump all the time. It's my favorite thing. I love going to the dump. So I go to the dump, and there's an area where you can like donate things and take them for free.
Yeah.
And there is a stack of immaculate books, special edition, 5 books, super expensive, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Fully illustrated.
Guys, I have looked up Gen Z.
I took it. I'm like, there was all these fantasy books, and they were all the super special edition, like the ones you just held up, Mark. Sorry, Derek. I took them all. I was like, these are amazing. Because I don't
looked
have
up Gen
books.
Z, and it seems that Gen Z is born 1997 through 2012.
There you go. That sounds about right. Yeah. I was going to say, if you're like in the early 90s, you're like that's where you're like a Zennial, right?
So because of the fact that 2012 is part of Gen Z, then that means that the youngest Gen Z are 14. So those 20-year-olds are Gen Z. They're not Gen Alpha.
My kids are Gen Z.
They're not Gen Alpha. So
no, Gen Alpha.
I know I've gotten this wrong a lot of times in the past because I'm not good at remembering where these.
And now the new ones are Gen Beta. I'm like, can you stop with the?
I'm not good at remembering where generations are, but this time I was right. 20 is Gen Z.
They have like generation. Did they have Y or did they not bother with generation?
No, Y was millennial.
Millennial, right.
Because millennials was between X and Z. That's
right.
why.
Right. Well, first they were Gen Y, then they turned into millennials, and then Gen Z, and then they have alphas, and now they're doing betas. And I'm like, oh, that's the next one. What's after beta? I don't even know what they would have beta.
Gamma.
Yeah, but I don't know if they will because people aren't that smart.
Oh, so they made you Charlie if they do the
It'll have to be generation.
On that we can end the stream.
Also, someone had a great comment. What generation is Steven not? The silent generation.
I'm not the silent generation. I am not.
No.
That's silent generation. What am I, 90? Come on, man.
No, but I think they were making a joke about you talking.
I know I talk a lot. Hey,
but
I'll tell you one weird thing is my sister-in-law. She is a baby boomer because she was born in like 64, and I think that's like the last year. And I was like, ooh, it's kind of weird. Like if you're the very end of the generation, and she's like not that much older than me. And I'm like, I don't think of her as a baby boomer. I was like, she's very Gen X. Gen X, the generation that can take a licking and keep on ticking. Let me tell you.
All right. Well, Derek,
take. You know what? Take your grunge rock and your
love it
and your whatever.
Yeah, come on. Let's see. Your 80s movies, your grunge rock, your big hair, your Rubik's Cube.